Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the late show. I join you a little later than usual today because Alex and I went to pick up a watch for him from the Tudor Boutique. It was a great success, lots of fun. We had a nice dinner as well and a drink. So now I'm back with the show to talk to you about what exactly is happening here. To talk to you about the Tudor Boutique and some other recent experiences at retail, which seems to be a changing market, and maybe it's actually going back to some sort of new normal. And this is something that we can discuss. I wonder, Ozzy, what's going on? I thought all the trouble had come in with Coach. He left downtown, and still have all this banging and exploding and whatever else. What's going on?
Not much. Just getting through the work day today, and I called quite a few dealers trying to swap out the Oyster Perpetual 36 pink to get a turquoise.
Oh, so we are already talking about that out in the open. We are.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
I mean,
I
that's
haven't actually done it because no dealers are actually doing anything.
Ozzy. Not to worry. At any rate, it's not like anyone is listening, so it's just the two of us.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not really like I said. Was the intention wasn't to flip it? That's for sure. We would have said no if
Mhm.
the AD was going to remain open. As in, well, they're open, but they don't have a license anymore. So
Right.
there's the last shipment. They're trying to do a favor, you know.
Yeah, this was their last lot of Rolex shipments, and that was the last piece they could ever give you, and first and last, in fact, right? Because you did say that you only received this piece from that particular AD.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So yeah, and you know, I thought maybe it would work for my wife, but you know, I could tell it wasn't really working. I said, "Oh, okay, look, I think the premium's only a few $1,000s. We can get you
Mm.
the turquoise." But none
And
of the traders are biting. Like they won't do it. They just won't do it.
right. And just to clarify again, this was basically number 3, basically for Mrs. Expat, right? Like
It's
kind
her
of
second watch.
palm.
Oh yeah, in
No, no,
terms of
in the
preference,
sense
yeah.
palm, turquoise, and then pink. Yeah. Yeah, look,
No,
I
she
mean,
doesn't like pink.
we have been talking about this. It should be quite straightforward if the people if the dealers are the kinds of dealers that they're fronting on YouTube, if they actually know what they're doing, it should be pretty straightforward. They're both very hot watches, and arguably at OP36, there's a chance that the pink can actually be maybe a
It could
little,
overtake.
yeah, maybe it
It
could
could.
be even preferable. um
Well,
also
it was
yeah.
like originally before the whole Tiffany craze. I believe the candy pink was actually number one in the past. So
Right.
it's not. Who knows? You know, I honestly the turquoise thing is a little bit of a fad. It's not. It's not a an ugly color. It's just the value attached to it's a little bit of a fad, clearly.
No,
But yeah,
it's
like I'm not asking the dealers to speculate. I'm not asking them to hold. Like the trade is the ultimate deal as long as you get the price you ask for. They're not willing to even quote. It should be as simple as like, here's the price that I can sell uh, this one at wholesale, you know,
Mhm.
reliably, like $500 under the lowest thing that I see on the market. That should be pretty reasonable. This is the one that I can buy. Secure the buy, grab the watch. You're done. Your holding period is 1 day. You know, basically however long FedExes take to send the watches around. This is the least risk thing they could possibly do, right? It's just, yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just
look,
crazy.
that's the thing. We're asking something that doesn't make sense to make sense, and that's
I did a quick video. I think that they're honestly a little scared of actually wheeling and dealing in the dealer network. So sourcing the watch is the real stumbling block. They don't want to go and get an OP36 turquoise. They don't want to deal with the market basically, and that's huge. That's sort of like banks saying we don't want to deal with other banks right now. You know what I mean? Like that would collapse the entire finance industry. And most watch dealers, wheeling and dealing right now, are all, it's just, the dealer groups and stuff like that. But if they're unwilling to engage in the dealer groups because they're scared of getting burned, and they are. So there was that thing that Alan posted where there was a seven-figure outstanding debt from a dealer that had gone
right.
kaput. Who did they burn? Are they now burned as well? Who are you dealing with? Do they have enough cash? Everyone on all of their things now saying, send only after wire clears. No screenshot of the wire is good enough. After the wire clears, then you get a package on your way.
I mean, look, that's only common sense, and the whole circle of trust thing scares me more than anything, because I don't see it backed up by the actual muscle. Not that I'm recommending anything like that, not that I'm suggesting that anyone should, but there's no trust that can't be enforced. There's no justice in this world that doesn't have some sort of force behind it. So all of that is nonsense unless people can take the matter into their own hands. I just want to welcome some of the people in the chat. MLMJ, welcome back. My regards to your grandmother as well. CCR34, welcome to the channel. Nice to see you here. Nice to see new faces. Nice to see familiar faces. Smoking Joe is back. And CCR34 asks, what are your thoughts on Rolex discontinuing the OP41 exotic dials? And I'm sure this is something that Ozzy can speak of. And Eddie Fu says, the problem with Tudor is that they only have BB58 and a few models that is worth pursuing. One trick pony, time will tell. And George Varghese, welcome back. Circle of Friends backed up by muscle, circle of trust.
Mussels.
They call it in the
more like the seafood. The OP41 exotic dial. So as a customer, I hate that they did that. It's so cynical. Like, it's a very cynical thing to do, to like sort of have something that just explodes and just to destroy it and then send it through the moon, in terms of, it's just such a cynical thing. It's sort of like what Patek did with the 5711, to be honest, where they say it was like, oh, we're doing it for the right reasons, and then 2 months later they released the Tiffany dial version. I was like, oh, you did it for the right reasons.
And that was the green too. It's like they doubled up on that. The green dial was the victory lap, as they call it.
Exactly. It's so, but you have to look at it from the start of the product development as opposed to how it ended up. The move to put these dials out was very risky on a product line that was always extremely soft. And the reality was, the reception for these dials was horrendous. I was offered to look at all of them. I didn't even want to take a look. I said, why are you telling me to look at OPs? I don't understand. It's like, I'm not going to do that.
Hey, Junior.
Oh, hey.
How are you doing?
And so the only way that Rolex was going to be able to do such dials, I think, is from the outset, if they were prepared to pull them off the market if they weren't received very well. And the reality was that they weren't received very well. So I think the decision to pull them off the market maybe wasn't as strategic as, say, Dog Trainer talks about. I'm not trying to say that.
Look, I mean, I think I wouldn't say, I think it's somewhere between the two, actually. Somewhere neither cynical nor extremely strategic. I think ultimately it was a way of sprucing up, reinvigorating a line of watches that was never quite a hit, that was always soft in the secondary market, that always sat in the cases. And in a way, I think Rolex was too successful for its own good. And they're not the kind of brand that really shift weights around in terms of their production. So since they couldn't supply the demand at all, since they couldn't even get near it, I think they decided, hey, we'll let this one go and
I
move on to something else.
I personally think they probably made the decision to stop doing them in the first few batches after they started seeing that people weren't
I
buying
think
them.
they really I think they were really caught off guard. I think they really were not expecting those colors to be this successful.
Well, it was sort of like the change of gears. When they came out, they were extremely unwanted. Like the new dials were not. Everyone who had a relationship with an AD was offered these watches, and almost everyone turned them down. Is the
Right.
reality. Anyone who had a relationship could have bought one of these when they first came out, and most people simply refused to even look at them. And so Rolex probably had a knee jerk. It's like, oh, I guess we're not going to follow up with this one next year. To me, that's when they probably made the decision. The fact that it picked up towards the end, it's like the decision's already made, so
Yeah.
Who knows?
Jimmy, good evening to you as well. Is Tudor rumored new impending release going to be finally a sub? It's the 10th anniversary of the Black Bay. It might just make sense. Let's see. This is something that we can unpack. MLMJ, yeah, look, my sense of humor is pretty bad. I'm not qualified to make any jokes. I'm just trying to follow up on what Wizard has been saying, but hey, if you're not taking it well, I'm sorry about that. Jimmy and MLMJ agrees. I think it will be a sub, and Jimmy hopes that it will be as well. And MLMJ says that would Jimmy says that will sell like crazy. I'll be torn between the BB Pro and this prospective Tudor sub. Actually, let's go back to what Eddie is saying, because I actually
I don't understand
disagree with
this.
it.
Yeah,
I actually
I mean,
disagree with this, and I know Ozzy has basically same take as me on the first level. Um, what do you think the Black Bay series actually is to Tudor?
Well, I mean, it obviously reinvigorated the brand, sort of pulling the sort of heritage style and trying to find their own design language. Now, the Pelagos and the North Flag obviously represent a different type of design language that they were trying to go with, something very modern. But I think they've seen that as sort of like being too far extreme in terms of modern. Ultimately, though, in terms of like their product lineup, I think Tudor are coming very close to having as many allocation pieces as Rolex. Like certainly more allocation pieces than Rolex had in 2019, right?
Well, I mean, I think I got a very skewed view today, having visited one of the few Tudor boutiques in the country. I think there are 3. And hey, I don't know. I think Rolex just traumatized us in a certain way. So when we walk into a watch boutique where you see all these pieces, and you can say, okay, I'll take this, and I will take this, and I will take this, and if you don't have this, you can get it for me in 2 weeks or something. I mean, it's amazing. Everything was available. In fact, yes, there are location
Really?
pieces. Yeah,
Amazing.
it was crazy. So let me start with this, Eddie. I think, look, Black Bay 58, I think, as an entire line, was extremely successful, and I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with Tudor leaning on that success. And now, with the decade of that new Black Bay heritage line, and Black Bay 58 and other variations under their belt, we are expecting different things. And I think Tudor started delivering those different things, and Tudor started breaking out of that straitjacket of being a one-trick pony with BB58. Now, I even disagree with that actually statement, because Black Bay for Tudor is what Oyster is for Rolex. It's just a case designation. So if you were in the habit of just reciting every single Rolex model in the proper way with its full name, you would say Rolex Oyster Perpetual Explorer, Rolex Oyster Perpetual blah blah blah. So you could say the same thing. Well, Rolex is really a one trick pony with this OP shit, and they should really start doing something else. So for me, it's that Black Bay is just the designation for their particularly water resistant, robust cases. They come in different sizes, they come in different configurations, and with various complications. And when it comes to watches like now the BB Chrono, the Black Bay Pro, they have started doing certain things, and they do also in terms of design language and in terms of their creations. I think there are two nice counterbalances in Tudor. On the one hand, they reiterate what belongs to the Rolex and Tudor heritage in a way that Rolex no longer is no longer interested in doing. On the other hand, they also do certain experimentation with materials that Rolex, again, does not do and is perhaps not interested in doing, because they don't want to take certain risks like bronze, like silver, like titanium, like ceramic. So I think there's a very good balance actually within the Tudor releases now. Maybe 5 years ago, you could probably lodge this complaint, and I would agree with you 90%. Day after day, I agree less with this criticism.
Yeah, the materials and the design language, I like what they're doing. They're having fun, quite frankly. Now, the only significant issue, it seems to be found the exception, is they're too popular. Like every single new piece is allocation piece now for years, not just like a little bit a few months after, but for years.
But by the way, CCR37, please don't take me the wrong way. I didn't say that actually. I didn't mean to say that my personal take on Oyster Perpetual is that I'm not a fan. I am actually a fan. I think that's a great, should be at least the great entry level Rolex watch. I think OP36 especially to me has always been very interesting. Just speaking traditionally in terms of how they're trending in the secondary market, before these hyped up colors, they were not really popular. They were well below list compared to everything else in the Oyster Perpetual lineup, right? All the professional models and even Milgauss and Air King, so on and so forth. That's all I meant to say. There wasn't anything subjective about that opinion. Now, I don't really like the hype colors. I have to admit that. I'm not a fan of those.
I mean, the premium on those is absurd now. I mean, there's like over $12,000 worth of premium, which is more premium than the Pepsi is commanding at the moment. So it's outrageous.
Oh, wristwatchholic Alex is in the chat. He says, upvote guys, unboxing the new Tudor for 10 likes. Yes, guys, please upvote, and if you haven't subscribed, please do, and Alex will join us to unbox his new Tudor. MLMJ says, I love steel bezels on the Black Bay Pro. It's gorgeous, and the aluminum bezels all over the Tudor lineup I truly love. Racing R, we were just at Westfield Century Mall, actually. Great boutiques. That's where the Tudor boutique was at. It's actually run by Westtime, and they treated us really well. Surprise, surprise. I guess it's just the Audemars Piguet shtick that that makes them a certain way. North Flag was nice. I do agree. Jimmy says, just looking at it now on the Tudor website again, damn, it's so good looking. This is Black Bay Pro. They were smart to do this, much more affordable. McQueen, so to speak. The inspiration behind it is, of course, 1655, the Rolex Explorer 2, when it first came out with that reference. Yeah, please go ahead.
It's really cool because I mean, this is the watch that is, you know, the current prime lineage, but it really is very, you know, it's even with the orange GMT hand, it's relatively removed from the 1655 in style. So having the Black Bay Pro really pick up the DNA from the 1655 is cool, and not just one hand, you know.
And also look at this example. For example, I found at Sotheby's in preparation to welcome Alex to the panel. Welcome
what's
to the
up,
show
guys?
again.
Welcome.
And you see how that one aged actually to look kind of yellow. So this is a 1984.
That's really cool.
Explorer.
That's really cool. People complain that it's yellow, but it's like, hey, if you had a 1655, you may realize that maybe it is yellow.
Yes, apparently when they first came out, and this is something that people speculate based on the catalogs, it was actually kind of a hot red, and they just started fading immediately because of the coloring used. And there are even examples of it that collectors call albino that have completely creamed out as well, but they come in a wide variety of different shades, and yellow does happen. Actually, baby girl, thank you for your support. Yes, so I mean, look, when it comes to places to shop, I don't want to discount Racing Art. Just want to quickly say there's so much in LA. Of course, you should go to Rodeo Drive. There are a lot of watch boutiques there as well. And the more obscure the brand, the less hyped up the brand, the more welcoming people are. Like, for example, the Breguet Boutique in Beverly Hills is actually a gem. People will die to show you watches in Harry Winston, right? You know, to go places that where it's less expected, like Gégé Lecoutre. They will be, you know, they will be worshiping you. But of course, they will be nice to you in Vacheron Constantin and in other places as well. Just, but in the more obscure the brand, the nicer they treat you in the boutiques, usually when it comes to watches. But without further ado, I wanna give my guest of honor again some recognition. Alex, welcome back.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, man.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
So I have another unboxing for tonight, if you guys want. Speaking of Tudor, yeah.
Yeah, we do actually. I mean, I would like to see it again.
Now, were you tempted by any of the other stock that was available? Like Lord was saying, there's...
Actually, surprisingly, they have the Black Bay Chrono. That's the first time I saw it.
That's very surprising. Did they have both colors?
Oh no, they only have a black dial on the strap. Yeah.
I think I like the black better. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a quality watch. It's a Breitling quality, but price is only half, 5K.
Yeah. I just think there's not enough contrast on the white, and the black kind of reminds me more of an older Speedmaster, actually, not so much older Daytona.
Yeah, I also like the black dial better for Black Bay chronograph, because the Panda dial, the small black hand is kind of hard to read because the dial is white and hand is white. So I also prefer black dial for particular model. Yeah. Anyway, so let's open it up. It's just Tudor, so I'm not gonna take a time like yesterday. No speculation.
No, don't say it's just Tudor. I think it's it's a beautiful watch. I think it can
Yeah,
hold.
because quality of the box is pretty
Yeah.
bad.
This is
think-
it's the best watch release of the year. There's no like I
That's
don't
true.
really think
Yeah.
the VTNR even comes close.
Actually, this is my first Tudor ever I bought it. Yeah.
Very nice.
Mhm.
It's a great one to start off with, that's for sure.
I just opened it up, okay? I think everyone know what I got. Ba-bam.
Nice.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
this is the watch everyone talking about these days, or the YouTuber, or the community. You know.
Nice.
So this is 39 millimeter case to case. Thickness is like a 14.5. Well, actually, that's including those bezel and including the sapphire dome crystal. So actual case is only like a 12 millimeter.
Yeah, I think that's usually referred to as the mid case, where you get to see those flanks.
So when I actually try on the watch, it doesn't look very thick.
Yeah, that
It
looks
almost
great.
wear like a submariner, and it's only
Yeah.
39 millimeter, so
Mhm.
it's perfectly fit on my 6.5-inch wrist.
Hey, it looked good even on my wrist. So
That's gorgeous.
imagine.
Are you able to set your camera to be like a little bit more zoom or something? Because
Yeah.
you've got like very widescreen right now. It sort of makes it look a little,
How about
little
now?
bigger than.
How about right now? Was it better or the same?
Tudor has been killing it lately, MLMJ says. And Jimmy says, wristwatchholic, congratulations. Very nice. Wow, love it. And wear it in good health and wealth, my friend.
Yeah, so this watch is only like $4,000. So it's way more than I expected when I check it out in person, and I had to buy it.
That's good, man. That's good. We don't always get to get that feeling, to be honest. Even of watches that we ultimately love, but to really know it's for you upon first sight, that's very special.
You know, one thing as a vintage Rolex head that I love even more about this watch is the fact that they did the luminous material on the dial, the lume plots on the dial, absolutely naked, no surrounds of any kind.
Let's
And
check
it
out
looks,
the room. Yeah.
yeah, it looks really nice and creamy in light.
I'm
And
so sorry. I have to go. My son needs a shower before bed, and so I've got
Okay.
less time today. Really awesome
No worries, my
pick up
friend.
their wristwatchaholic. I'm sure the fact that you don't have a space in your watch box is not really a pain when this watch is this good.
I know.
Enjoy, man.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Take care, man.
Thank you, Oz.
Let's charge it up a little bit.
And now it's showtime. Jimmy, nice. Jimmy, the only problem was they delivered it too fast. I think Alex wasn't waiting for it to turn up so fast.
Yeah, so I actually visited the Tudor Boutique first time ever last Sunday. I mean, this Sunday, 2 days ago. And they gave me a call yesterday on Tuesday. So it only took me to get this watch for 2 days. But I was able to pick it up actually yesterday, but I was busy. So I waited until Wednesday. Yeah, but it only took the 48 hours to get me this.
And I'm glad it turned out that way, because I had the pleasure to accompany you, Alex, and it was a nice visit to see a watch boutique, to experience a watch boutique again in a buyer's market was nice. Like, the way the sales associates were treating us, um, the way she delivered so fast, the way she was so interested to see what else caught our fancy, what else she could offer. And most of everything was in stock already, right? And everything else, I think, having delivered this piece in about 2 days, I think you could trust her to deliver in a rather short period of time. Again, to repeat, this is the Tudor Boutique in Westfield Santry Mall. I think one of the three dedicated Tudor boutiques in the US. Um, I'm gonna lose sleep over the bronze Black Bay 58 tonight. That, as you guys know, is a boutique limited edition. And I had the chance to try it on for the first time in person, and I loved it. Um, and it wasn't a bad thing that the floor samples they had already started taking on some patina, so you could have a sense of how they will age, how they will get patinated over time. The yellow pops, MLMJ says. I agree, and in the best way.
And I really like the way the Tudor start playing the game like a Rolex 80s. They
Hmm.
deliver the watch in timely manner.
Hmm. And I
Yeah.
think they got conscious about that, Alex. We were talking about it a little because um, starting with the chrono, and to a certain extent FXD and some models, they had a hard time meeting the demand at certain times, and you can't alienate your customer twice, I think, because there's a lot of overlap between the Rolex customer base and the Tudor customer base, and people are already getting quite mad with Rolex. If Tudor starts giving them the same treatment, same runarounds, same kinds of imaginary wait lists and impossible wait times, I think people would be extremely fed up. And I'm glad Tudor is stepping up its game also in terms of delivering the watches, meeting the demand, and having them in stock. And Dirk Diggler, welcome to the show, man. And Jimmy says, yes, no Viking 3-year wait. Nice attention to detail, yellow GMT hand, matching the yellow script on the dial. Jimmy, good eye. Yes, that's a very nice detail. And MLMJ says, the naked loom dials look great on this.
Yeah, the rendering picture in Tudor website doesn't really justify this watch. You guys have to
Yeah.
check in person. It's really amazing for $4,000. Only half the price of Rolex Explorer 2.
Alan
Yeah.
Gildo, welcome back to the channel. And Jimmy says, exactly, nice to see the other arm of quote unquote Rolex provide proper customer service. Yeah, I mean, look, Jimmy, I agree with you actually. It should be the least I expect, right? Because we are not getting, I mean, they gave us gifts too, actually, which is quite nice. But it's not like we are going there to pick up free stuff, right? You are going there with your own money to shop, to buy a product that they should deliver. So that is the least one should expect. You're right. That is proper customer service. But hey, um, they delivered in every possible way and in all meanings of the word in this case. And even some extra gifts as well. And Jimmy says maybe they knew they had 2 YouTube stars in the store. There was only one star, and that was the guest of honor, Wristwatchholic.
Not really. Anyway, Rose, so are you planning to picking up the new watch from Tudor, the bronze Black Bay 58? It was pretty nice on your wrist.
Yeah, it looked great, didn't it? I don't know. I might, because I mean, one thing about Tudor is again, we have been raised on this ideology of it's gotta hurt, but Tudor hurts a little less, and that's not such a bad thing. Um, so I don't know. I just might, because that bronze Black Bay 58. Let's pull that up in the meantime as we are discussing it, which is a boutique exclusive, and which is something they have, pardon me, at hand immediately. First of all, I mean, Alex emphasized this, that it has the similar color scheme with my root beer, which I don't mind actually, which is something that tugs at my heartstrings, so to speak. But the thing that really speaks to me about this watch is it gives me the air of those very limited runs of Explorer dial Submariners from the past. There were some from 6538, but certainly there are a lot of 50, well, not a lot, but there are more signs of 5513s, which is another watch that I have with the 369 dial, which in the past I have featured on my Instagram account. For example, in this ad that we see, right, where there's a nod to the mil-spec versions as well, worn officially by divers of the Royal Navy, the French Navy, and the Royal Canadian Navy. And then also the earlier and somewhat apocryphal, admittedly, mil-spec 6538 big crown with the Explorer dial. So to have that imagery again revived in a unique way with these particular case dimensions, to me it's extremely appealing. And it actually looked nice, and I was, in a way, Alex, I was so excited that I didn't shoot anything in that boutique. So maybe I should go back.
Yeah, why not? And there are not many watch brands use the bronze as material, case material. I think only Tudor, Panerai, and Oris.
Yes.
That's the thing, only brand I can think of now.
Oh, there's a grand opening for the Tudor Boutique in South Coast Plaza. No, I would love to go. Maybe that could be another LA Watch Guys event, Alex. Alex, as you guys know, is the mastermind between behind our meetings. So maybe he will sneak us into the Tudor Boutique in South Coast Plaza as well.
Yeah, Dirk, give us a date and time. Just DM to Rod or to me so we can arrange the meetup. Yeah, why not?
And Jimmy says Tudor actually kisses you before it makes sweet love to you. And similar approach by MLMJ. And Jimmy says, yeah, that bronzo looks very nice. How was the dial in the flesh? It was actually, I liked the fact that it was rather gradient. So there's more than one color on the dial. So it verges on Fortina, so to speak, right? So it's made to look like a tropical dial, but not in a way that looks too affected, not in a way that looks contrived. I think it looks actually very tasteful. Again,
it look like kind of vintage appearing for me.
Yeah, and kind of like a aged gilt dial, perhaps, because also of the color of the minute track as well. It was just a fantastic watch, and it felt great on the bracelet. it felt great on that canvas strap. They also supplied.
So I believe if you purchase this watch, it comes with an auto strap. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes with both, right? And St. Peter says, does that dial have slight fume? Yeah, there's like a gradation of color, St. Peter. Yes, it's not as accentuated as a smoked or fume dial, but it's there. And MLMJ say, I love the red dial on my BB Steel. He means the red writing. Hey, Racing Art, if you live in Los Angeles, we meet almost on a regular basis. Add me on Instagram and I will let you know for sure on for our next meeting. If you want to meet up and you're about to leave or something, you are just visiting, I might have some free time in the next few days, so we can meet up somewhere for sure. And I'd be more than happy if Alex and others join us as well. This BB58 bronze will patina with your juices. Go for it. Go for it. It's a sliced alone. Go for it. I think it will be a good look for Lord. Hey, I just sent the link. Racing R, feel free to add me and everyone else too. That was a great watch, and I tried on the ceramic as well. And unless Alex was just being nice, it seemed to fit nicely too.
Yeah, that was pretty nice too.
But of course, it's a slightly bigger case, as you guys know. That's a 41. Let's see if we can find it quickly. Oh, we did. And quite frankly, it looked really nice from the front, from the back. This was also a cool watch. If I weren't so smitten by the bronze already, I would have probably paid it even more attention.
And the movement inside is meta certified, like Omega movement. And if you want to get the ceramic, same kind of Omega 3 master, I think you have to pay almost twice than this one.
Yeah. And I like the fact that they did something special with this movement, right? It's not just an exhibition bag for exhibition's sake. It's like they have the same color scheme, a particular kind of decoration.
Now it's purple color like a ruby shorts. Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah, and they also had, speaking of hot Tudors that might otherwise require allocations in different locations, they did have.
They have a black one on the rubber strap. That one.
Yeah, like this, which is an even 5K. Again, for the kind of watch you're getting, it's a good deal. Remember, this is Breitling movement.
Yeah,
inside.
B01 movement. Yeah.
And that's a nice little exchange they have, student exchange program between Tudor and Breitling. As you guys might know, Super Ocean Heritage now shares the movement with Tudor Pelagos, which is the MT5612, and BO1 joins forces with Tudor for these chronographs. So it's a nice little collaboration. And I like it on both in both brands actually. I think Super Ocean Heritage 2 is a great watch as well. I'm glad they got what they wanted from Tudor, and Tudor got something nice in exchange as well, which is a pretty respectable column wheel chronograph. And they all sit fairly well on my wrist, which is just about the most delicate man's wrist you can find in west of Mississippi. Let's put it this way. And they're all fantastic watches. There's something for everyone in Tudor, and it's not just a manner of speaking. They actually have the watch, and if not, they get it to you in a reasonable time frame. If not in 48 hours, like they delivered to Alex.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can also get the Panda Dial Black Bay Chrono, not more than a month. Yeah. Maybe next day, who knows? But I prefer Black Dial though, yeah. Because
And
of
I
the snowflake hand.
actually, one thing I love about these chronos is how beautiful that aluminum bezel looks. It just has a very nice matted finish on it.
Right.
That it took us a second take at least to say, oh, okay, this is an aluminum bezel. It's again something that Tudor does. Even when they use different kinds of materials, they somehow finish it in a way or make it visually in a way that still gives you the vintage feel. So this is an aluminum bezel, but it kind of feels like this vintage acrylic Daytona bezels for the tachymeter. Just like Alex's watch has a sapphire crystal, but it looks so much like acrylic. It has so much the feel of a plastic crystal that Alex had to tap on it to make sure that it's sapphire.
Yeah, right. So we can compare these two registered Black Bay Chrono with actually Omega Smith Speedmaster 57. The new one just came out this year.
So this is 5325 on the bracelet and 5,000 even on the leather strap. And the new, why don't we just go to, sorry about that. I got watches.
Oh, what is this? Omega.
Yeah, I have no idea. Thankfully, it wasn't something naughty.
Look at the price. Almost 1.5 times.
Yep. So you pay 3,000 more than what you would pay with Tudor on the full bracelet.
I think they also have the one with the per bracelet for Omega.
Of course, let's check the price on that.
8,600.
Yeah, not much of an upcharge, to be fair. Just very much like the same price differential between leather band and bracelet as we have on
So they are both column wheel movement, but Omega is manual winding and Black Bay is automatic.
And that can certainly be a reason to go one way or another. I think there is a certain charm to a hand wound chronograph. Um, and again, this might not be the most aesthetically pleasing movement to look at, but the engagement, the interaction with the movement by winding it can be part of the romanticism for some. So that's certainly there. And the coaxial escapement, of course, can be attractive to others.
So I saw this watch in person a couple months ago in the Vegas,
Hmm.
and I wasn't really appreciate they put the steel bezel. It doesn't really give a good contrast like Black Bay Pro or I mean Black Bay Chrono or like ceramic Daytona does.
Hmm.
So it wasn't look that good on my wrist, in my personal opinion. I think they should at least put the like a black aluminum bezel instead of the boring steel bezel on it.
Yeah, I think Omega kind of left the aluminum bezels behind, right? Do they have anything with an aluminum bezel in their lineup of
Yeah, the
sport watches?
Shemaster, the No Time to Die, it comes with aluminum bezel.
Oh, that's true. The new one with in
Hmm.
titanium that has
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right. So they could I guess do something different once every so often. Jimmy says sorry, MLMJ says arousing. Jimmy says stealthy when it comes to the Black Bay in ceramic. Jimmy says I stated the obvious, but looking at the Tudors, they're killing it. The punters are agreeing with each other in the chat. I'd have to see this in flesh to see how much the hands blend into the background on that dial on the Panda. Sure, looks nice though. And we were comparing basically um, the two Tudor chronos. And look, trust that the Panda configuration with white gold surrounded hands. It's not the easiest one to read. The snowflake hand on Tudor Chronos um, does, unfortunately, hell of a job of blocking the dials, the sub dials at times.
I think for this particular model, they should put like a black lining to like surround the like a snow black
Yeah,
hand, like Rolex did on the Explorer 2. Then
right. That was an
yeah,
idea. I'm glad we share that. Yeah, that's something that came to my mind as well.
then it should be more legible.
Yeah, I think that sort of blackened dial fixtures, both for the
Hmm.
index markers and
Yeah.
the hands, I think would aesthetically enhance the watch too in a way, but
Hmm.
maybe not. I mean, their design department knows something, but it would certainly help with the legibility. I would say that. Um, so yeah, I mean, if I were to choose between those two, I do agree, Alex. I would probably lean more towards the Tudor than the Speedmaster 57. Alan Gildo says, I'd still put Omega ahead of Tudor, but Tudor's closing in quick if they release another hit this year. And he's talking about the overall, basically, brand image. Game over, man.
Yeah, I guess Omega didn't have a choice for this particular model because
Mm.
they are heritage model from the 1957, so they have to use the kind of similar design.
Alan says, I like those speedies. And Jimmy was the one who asked the question, by the way, Omega versus Tudor. Eddie, by the way, they did have the Tudor bronze 43s there as well.
Yeah,
It
we
looked
saw it,
humongous.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 41. Yeah, was it 42 or 41?
43, actually. Those
43.
are even bigger. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, so not for me necessarily, but those could also be quite cool. Again, it's that's one of the things that Tudor does. They take on again, something from Rolex's heritage, and they do it in a way Rolex hasn't done and probably will never do. And that's a very oversized sports watch that, I guess except for Yachtmaster, Rolex doesn't really have something like that in their lineup. And Yachtmaster isn't a Rolex classic, whereas Black Bay Bronze in heritage model 43 millimeter looks like it could belong to Rolex's icons. The pump pushers are not as nice as screw down. Look, it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. I get irritated by screw down pushers because it's not like I'm gonna take my chronograph into water. So, and look, I like being able to just engage it immediately rather than having to screw it, unscrew it, and then play around with it. So I like pump pushers actually, but of course there's a compromise, right? The rectangular, more modern style pushers could always be an option, but do they belong on these models in particular, like Heritage Speedmaster 57? Not really. It would break the aesthetic, I think.
When
Yeah,
I
so
used
what?
to have a Daytona, I never screw it in for the pushers for chronograph.
Yeah,
I just always keep it open.
yeah. So what do you say? I guess your opinion is a little out there already. Between Omega at this level and Tudor at this level, you would go with Tudor.
Yeah, I mean, Omega definitely has a better finishing and movement, but for price point, you have to pay almost twice, 5K compared to almost 9K.
Yeah.
And I would rather go for the chronograph, Black Bay chronograph. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, new out of the door, I would also go with the Black Bay Chrono, and I actually, I'm not a huge fan of Panda dial configuration, period. So I would probably go with black anyways if that were an option for me. And anything with red writing on the dial at any rate, it's something that draws me in immediately. So red against black, especially. So I like this watch. I do.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And overall, too, I think, look, something that Eddie pointed out as a problem in the beginning, right? And I respect his opinion, even though I disagree with it, that, hey, Tudor is always Black Bay. There's a cohesion in Tudor's lineup that Omega is perhaps trying to recapture now after being criticized with limited edition this, special release that, and you're just confused. You don't know where to look at in Omega's lineup, and in Tudor's lineup, I think everything is very clearly separated, as at least now, at least for now. So I think overall, Tudor seems to be playing their cards right, and I think Omega is faced with that choice of either staying there and competing with Tudor, or trying to pump up their image like Rolex did at one point, towards that luxury stratosphere, playing the same kinds of games with Rolex. And for people who respect Omega's heritage, that's also a nightmare scenario.
I kind of don't understand either, because Black Bay Chrono, Black Bay Pro, Black Bay 58, honestly, they are all different type of watches. So
Yeah.
they could just rename something else, like chronograph, they can rename like a Daytona or something else, like the name of the beat.
Yeah. Well, I think
They shouldn't put the Black Bay in front of all those three different type of the watches,
yeah, they're very different from each other. I absolutely agree with that. And I think it's like oyster, right? The oyster case. This is the Black Bay case, basically, and it even comes in different sizes, right? And certainly different complications, different materials. And like you said, maybe in the future there will be more distinction with the naming, but ultimately it really doesn't indicate a single line and single type of a watch. I think they're distinct each other between the Black Bay Pro, which is a GMT watch with a fixed 24-hour bezel, Black Bay Chrono, which is a 2-register automatic chronograph, and then Black Bay 58, which is a diver watch with an aluminum timing, unidirectional timing bezel. Very, very different watches. And Watch Nicholas said the new Omega 57 is nice. I think it's nice too. No doubt. And Jimmy says I'm Daytona influenced, I guess. I just like the aesthetic of the screw down, and Alan agrees. The broad arrow is a nice variation of the Speedy. I agree. Yeah, the price point has been just pushing them a little too far out there for me. The Speedmasters in general.
Yeah, Omega just increased the overall price this year, I think.
And MLMJ says racing speedies with Valjoux movement are also underrated. Good bang for the buck. I think there's a lot of underrated stuff in the Speedmaster market, especially if you are willing to travel back in time. And the reduced speedies, for example, right? If you don't mind an automatic movement in your Speedmaster, and if you actually like that aesthetic, which I never warmed up to, there's so many beautiful models that you can pick up, like the entire Schumacher editions, for example, in all these different colors. I love them. I just couldn't warm up to the idea of a reduced size automatic movement Speedy. What do you think about the rumors of Tudor coming up with another release later this year? What do you think, Alex? What kind of release are you expecting from Tudor for later this year? Can you hear me?
Black Bay with a new color of dial. Green or sky blue.
Do you think they will be that unimaginative?
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know. Everyone seems to be hoping, and this is what our friends were talking about in the chat. Everyone seems to be hoping for a
Black Bay Coke.
No, for what is it?
North Black.
For a sub again, for the return of the Black Bay, for the Tudor sub. Racing R, I'm not sure if I received a DM from you on the Instagram, by the way. Unless you are the same person as Big Meech, in which case I have. Big Meech has sent his photos of trying on the same watch, actually, the Black Bay Chrono.
Nice.
And it looks fine. Alan Gildo says a Coke Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT. I think, look, maybe this may be a little bit of wishful thinking, but it's the 40th anniversary of 16760, the so-called Fat Lady, which was the first GMT Master 2 with that jumping hour hand. And because at that time the movement was in its early stages, it was a fatter case, it was a thicker movement, so hence the Fat Lady. That was also the first time they came up with the red and black bezel, which people affectionately started to call Coke as opposed to the Pepsi. I feel like Rolex might do something themselves with that color combination. I think, yeah, look, it might be just wishful thinking, but I feel like Tudor is gonna do a sub, probably, perhaps, something with the Mercedes hands. Alan says, I wanted a smaller Pelagos, but I think the FXD killed that. Jimmy says, rumor also has it that this is happening in early July, so in a matter of weeks, then possibly September, but who knows? And Joe is saying something interesting. And unfortunately, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Maybe they will just do another precious metal Black Bay 58. And yeah, I think that just shouldn't be something in their wheelhouse. Honestly, again, I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it, but I just didn't think that whole gold Black Bay 58 really belonged to the ethos of what they have been building there. So yeah, if they came out with a platinum Black Bay 58 ultra extra limited edition, you wouldn't be surprised. That's even more unimaginative than a new dial color for Black Bay 58. But hey, it can happen. Guys, by the way, we are past our first hour. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for the late show today. We were a little bit late, but we made up a little bit for you by introducing yet another unboxing from Wristwatchholic. I think his addiction has hit a new fever pitch in these last few days. Is there any buyer's remorse, Alex? Alex?
So far, no. I'm happy
No?
with my recent purchases. Yeah, no regret.
Yeah.
No
To,
bias remorse.
to the extent, guys, I mean, of course, I'll never know for sure, right? Because towards the end of our meeting, Alex was constantly looking at his watch. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave anyways, Alex. I'm gonna leave you alone. But apparently he was just enjoying his honeymoon. So I think I'm safe. You still like me, Alex?
Of course, my friend.
We're still friends?
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite the honeymoon still, and I think it's a beautiful watch. As is the Cellini, as a pink gold dress watch. That's great. Big Meat says Tudor's probably gonna smelt all the gold 58s and use the material for an SNG line.
So speaking of the Tudor, so I think Dirk
Mhm.
mentioned it. There will be grand opening at South Coast Plaza for new Tudor boutique. Did they mention what day is the grand opening?
Not yet, but imagine if it coincides with the new release, right? How mind-blowing would that be?
Dirk is still here in the chat.
I mean, it's yeah. So Dirk, if you're still in the audience and if you have any information about when they will open that boutique, I know Cool Chris Cali also in August. Dirk says Cool Chris Cali also was in touch with the people. So August seems reasonable, and maybe they will have the new release already. Yeah. So Jimmy was asking, I wasn't there. What was Alex's other purchase? It was a Rolex Cellini, the second generation in pink gold. So simple, beautiful, very eye-catching dress watch. I was, being a leather enthusiast in the most paradoxical way possible. I love that leather strap. That's like a very glossy strap, kind of looks proper for a black tie event, with patent leather shoes. Yeah, and Jimmy says, so Alex scratched the dress watch itch and the tool watch itch. Very nice. Yeah, he was double fisting, in fact, as he was coming out of the mall. So, yin and yang, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. One, on the one hand, a great dress watch, on the other hand, a great tool watch. It was a nice combo. Guys, yes. Thank you for being here again. Upvotes. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We are here with you every night with a live stream. And also, I pump out content on a weekly basis, usually 2 or 3 times a week. If you want to help me out, spread the word, share the link on other platforms. It really does help a great deal as I make my way towards 1,000 subs, as I'm trying to get this channel monetized. In the meantime, if you want to support this channel, if you want to help it become self-sustaining, if you want to encourage me in creating this kind of content, you can always consider a PayPal contribution at lordhellespontv@gmail.com, lordhellespontv@gmail.com. That's also my primary point of contact, so feel free to reach out to me there if you want something more personalized and more specific. And for future contents, I also have a Cash App, which is $LHVVV, $LHVVV. And thanks, Eddie, for reminding people to upvote and subscribe. So, Alex, is this it for you in the game? This is the end of your watch collecting career, I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think I have more than enough. And yeah, I'm gonna take a break. No more new watches for a while for me.
Hey, you're hanging up the gloves. You're hanging up the presentation gloves.
G'day. I'm back.
The expat, he was wearing, when he was presenting yesterday, his wife's Oyster Perpetual 36. He was wearing these black gloves, and we were just talking. Alex is hanging up his gloves, actually.
Oh, okay.
He might be done with.
The gloves were one of the only things that I've gotten as accoutrement to any of my purchases.
Oh, Alex,
they're nice.
if you don't mind, would you like to share what they gave you today?
Sorry.
Alex got some swag, and so did I, actually.
Oh, yeah, I've
Thanks
heard
to
these
Alex.
boutiques are very generous. You got one of the hats that I paid good money for.
Something like
They
that.
give me
but
the
not-
typing.
Nice. Oh, I see Snowflake. Interesting.
It's amazing, actually. It's an amazing touch. I can't believe it.
That's nice. Yeah, so Tudor's got some really nice accoutrement. I think their hats are better than Rolex's hats, but their pen is really terrible. Like, it kind of looks nice in a picture, but I started looking to try and find what refill it uses, because I was going to pay a lot of money to get one, and I wanted to know that it was going to last more than the ink in the pen, right? So, like, what refill was it? It definitely wasn't a Parker. And I finally found the Swiss company that makes it, and they make them for like $30 for like 100 or something. Like, it's just really, really bottom of the barrel white label type pen, basically, and it uses a highly proprietary ink, so it's single use only.
What is that?
I think it is a pretty nice
Oh.
gift from Pasha and Constantine last year.
And here I was thinking that we were gonna wear our matching caps, Alex, but you upstaged me. You're outclassed. You have outclassed me. This is actually pretty good.
Yeah, this was the nicest gift I got from the boutique.
Oh,
Focus.
is this classified
Focus.
as small leather goods? SLGs?
Oh, it's better than the small leather good. It's an actual belt with a Maltese
Beautiful.
cross.
Oh my
buckle.
goodness. It's so nice you can't use it.
A little
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
It's too nice.
Made in Italy.
Yeah. It's so nice you can't really use it. Like, even a more, very high-end expensive belt like from Hermes, you can just buy one, right? Like, I don't know if you can actually get one of these if you wanted one. That's very cool.
It's in up for sale in the bag.
Yeah. What happens if we type in that code? What's that code?
I'm not
Well,
sure.
I mean, ultimately these are merch. Like, maybe we can buy them.
Dirk, he got that with his Vacheron Constantin overseas travel time watch, and apparently they delivered it on his birthday, and they wanted to cap it off. They wanted to top it off with something truly special. So that was their gift to Alex with his purchase of the overseas jewel time.
I got the Explorer 2 for my birthday 2 weeks ago, but it was delivered 2 days before my birthday, and my dealer professes that she actually didn't know.
What did she give you for her birthday? For your
Her
birthday.
birthday.
Sorry. What
Well,
did she then give you for your birthday?
Well, I
if
said
it
thank you
wasn't
for the
your birthday?
Explorer 2, but yeah, it's she professes to have not realized that it was my birthday coming up that weekend. So it's
Oh,
fine
by the
by
way,
me.
guys, speaking of Tudor's tool watch ethos, of course, when they asked, what would you like to drink, we asked, so what do you have, and they had water, sparkling water, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi. So that's what you get for buying a tool watch. No champagne.
Yeah, I also expected champagne or something like a wine or some drink. That's why I
Really?
asked her. Yeah, that's why I asked her, what do you have?
I mean,
I got water at both of my Rolex ADs over
at least a beer.
purchases.
A can of beer could be nice for Tudor. That will go with a Tudor Black Bay Pro, right?
What's the most workingest man beer in America?
Bud Light,
Yeah,
maybe.
would PBR classify as too hipster?
Depends on the working man. I
Uh-huh.
mean, in New York, I would see a lot of working men drink Coronas in the bodega.
Mhm.
So it depends on the kind of working man. But yes, I guess Bud Light could be one. Miller. Um,
I guess you could fork out just a little bit and get the ultra, just the high end of working men's beer, right? You go the Michelob Ultra. There we go.
there we go.
Ooh, now we're talking.
Standards are slipping in LA. I see MLMJ says, and Jimmy says Pabst. That's true. Fine.
Pabst, yeah. I got to get a case of that.
Dirk Diggler says about the earlier Vacheron Constantin belt, my luck, they would not have my size. And Dirk also asks, did you send your Amazon crap back? They will not take it back after 2 weeks.
That's not true. That's not true. I've sent stuff back well beyond 6 months.
Ooh.
Like, it's not even a question. As long as you printed out the shipping label, it will go.
Okay.
And they'll take it.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So I don't go because it's such a chore. Like, I have to drive to a Postnet to be able to drop them off, or a Coles, and I only do it if it's convenient. So that's the outbox.
Dirk says, when I bought my Grand Seiko in New York City at Mayer's, they had their own bar with bartender on site. The wife and I got boozed up for free. That's what we are planning, actually. Our next Los
Wow.
Angeles meeting should be a visit to the FP Jean boutique on Sunset. So we'll get properly boozed up there, since we can't even get near those watches anyways. And then maybe we'll make our way down to Beverly Hills and smoke some cigars and do all sorts of other toxic masculine shit that one does.
I got to drive down there someday.
I'm still waiting, man. I know we talked about this vaguely when we basically first met on the stream, but hey, by now you know me well enough. I think you can you can trust me on a day trip. Alex can serve as a reference.
Yeah, I just worry that logistics is still really hard for me. Like,
Yeah,
junior and
course.
daycare, the baby, and we only have one vehicle. We don't have two vehicles. So if I take one, that's it.
Right. Then Mrs. Expat is stuck. By the way, Dirk, absolutely. In fact, we were thinking for the logistics, we were thinking that should we have it in South Coast Plaza just to accommodate you, but if you actually work in LA, that's even better. I think that would be a great little trip, and we are trying to expand the community both here and in person. So the more LA folks and Southern California folks can join us on these kinds of trips, on these kinds of outings, hey, I can't wait to go back to the Westfield Sentry Mall. It was nice. People were doing yoga. The weather is getting hot, so.
And there were many hot, nice ladies, with a tank top.
Yes, absolutely. MLMJ says bottle of Gatorade should suffice. Yeah,
Yeah,
full
let's
bar
let's invite Dirk and Racing R, Cool Chris, and
Yeah.
our VIP Rolex. Yeah, we can make the meetup.
JB says, God, just catching up. That's Vachon Constantin belt. It's really amazing.
I never size it. It's brand new.
And bring the kids, Ozzy. Introduce to Uncle Lord. Hey, I mean, Junior and I already have some face-to-face familiarity. So that's a nice kid, man. He brought you something, didn't he? Just earlier. Right? When you were sitting in front of the computer, what did he bring you? Some sort of candy or snack?
No, he was bringing a car to
Okay.
play with.
Very stylish belt. And Jake Brooks says, on the belt topic, my recommendation, Burberry London in black and gray, no jingle on the buckle.
That's
And
an
Dirk
interesting topic there, the Burberry actually. When I lived in London all those years ago, Burberry wasn't that high end of a brand. It was like an iconic English brand, but it wasn't like true luxury, you know. And like I remember in 2008 they moved their production out of England to China, and that sort of like really didn't look good. But in America it seems like it's a upper end brand for sure.
Well, here's what happened. I mean, you're right. And me being a little biased, I hate to sound like this because I actually hate this kind of speech, like, you know, oh, I liked that band before they were cool, right? You know, I hate that approach. But I actually liked Burberry when it was like the utilitarian British brand that had wonderful raincoats. And now it became just another luxury brand with an entire collection, right? I'm not, again, JB, I'm not saying their belts are not good, but Burberry was not known for making belts 2 decades ago, right? You know, they just had nice old school UK style and actually quite affordable raincoats.
Yeah.
And that was it.
They Rolexed it up.
In a way. I mean,
they
were
turned
talking,
our middle class goods into aspirational goods.
that's true. And now they, just like everyone else, they're an entire lifestyle brand. So they make everything from shoes to hats to sunglasses to belts to suits. They always had some of their own collection that was usually made in Italy for them, to their specifications, to their designs. But yeah, now they have everything.
Hey, they're still technically independent, actually. I'm just looking up their Wikipedia. So they're listed on the British Stock Exchange, but
Okay.
they are their own ticker. They are their own company.
I always thought they were somehow owned by one of these huge luxury conglomerates, but that's interesting. And Paul, we remind everyone to upvote. Sorry, go ahead.
Jen Road, I'm gonna be ready for tomorrow. So I'm gonna
Okay.
stay in the background, but yeah.
All right.
Thanks so much for sharing. I'll have to rewind the video later to check out the BB Pro in detail.
Yeah, anytime. Just send me a message. I can take some video and send to you.
Alex, thank you so much for being here again yesterday and today. It was great help for the show, and it was great to have this outing with you today as well. Thank you for your time and company.
Have a good night, Jen. Take care.
Good night. Pauli reminds everyone to upvote, and Dirk asks, can you get those bells if you wanted to buy it? I think it said not for resale on the back, so I don't know if that's the case. And Dirk, CCR34 asks you, Dirk, what's in your watch collection? I've never seen your watches. I like that half Maltese cross that they also use in the buckles, in the tank buckles of their watches. I think it's just a great fit. It looks
Oh,
very, very precious.
talking about belts, you know what nearly made my AD die? Like she's a little bit more aspirational than I am, but I'm
Hmm.
her customer still. But I was out to lunch and we were talking about nice belts, and they go,
Hmm.
"Yeah, well, ultimately, I like this one
Nice.
with the Velcro."
Man, I mean, look, you you can actually rock that style, right? To me, I'm already a dork. If you gave a gun in my hand, I wouldn't know how to shoot. Um, I mean, it's just like, for me, anything tactical and anything like that, it would look ridiculous on me. This
Yeah.
already looks ridiculous and too military like for my little vegan self. But
But this is like very practical. So there's no buckle. Like the only type of it's just this loop, this plastic loop. And the main reason I like this is because with no buckle, it means that if I go to lie down to sleep, which is what that's just how things are here in this house. I don't have to change my pants so that the belt buckle isn't hurting me. So I just go to sleep. I get up. I'm good. Put the gun in the pants. Drive. Come back. I don't have to keep worrying about changing which
guys,
belt needs to go in which
this is a
pants.
father squared. Just so you know, he's just trying to catch these whenever and wherever he can. So I think that's a great reason behind it. Um, so Dirk was sharing his collection, two Omegas, Rolex, and a Seiko, small potatoes, he says. And then uh, where did Dirk share his collection? Datejust 41, Seamaster Chrono, Speedmaster Racing, and he has also a nice King Turtle with the black dial. I have the one in green, so we have that nearly in common.
Referring to the Burberry belt here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not for sale, but only for their clients. And you should jump in sometime to reveal your collection. Dirk, absolutely. And Dirk has jumped in the past, by the way, and has shown us some of his watches. And again, no pressure. I'm trying to pressure Ellen to jump on and show his new Seamaster. But hey, I'm sending out the link again. Ellen, jump on. It's just the three of us. Forget about the tiny little audience that I have, which are all nice guys, by the way. So what is your dream watch, Dirk?
I think it's blenders too. Oh wait, what's he talking to about? I know my wife had the Blendtec out, but I don't know which one.
Yeah, my wife got one for free.
I want to respond to Jake Brooks's comment there. If you want to highlight it, belt game 2, watch game 8.5. I actually I don't eschew wanting a nice belt like that belt or the VC belt was really beautiful. I'd love to have a really nice belt, but for me, my attire, I normally can't reveal my belt line as I'm normally carrying a gun. And I don't carry a tiny gun. I normally carry a P320 compact. It sounds like compact, but it's close to a full-size gun. And that's like almost 2 pounds of weight. So any nice belt that I wear and then slap a gun on, it'll ruin the belt very quickly. So it's just not practical for what I wear.
And Jake's is understood LCP for me.
I got an LCP as well, but that stays home usually.
Rolex is a great dude, by the way. I don't know why he thinks that I'm against him somehow. Rolex, come back. Rolex, come back. I will even unblock you on Instagram. Will you welcome Rolex to join the party? Rolex, join the party. We're all friends here. You don't troll here at all, Dirk. You are, in fact, all too friendly here. Maybe you should introduce some friction into the elements. And CCR34 says, I'd love to hear Dirk's dream collection. It starts with a Glock 21.45 ACP, and he's on his best behavior. Aussie Expat says, Blue Alpha Gear low profile EDC belt. It's not the best, but it does hold up and is very comfortable. Hey,
We're going from Hermes and unobtainable VC belts to Burberry, and then we get to this Velcro vinyl stuff.
yeah, unobtainable belt with the unobtainable watch. Hey, again, we were talking about Tiffany blue guns earlier in the show, and this time it actually, Gun Talk didn't prove to be ratings poison. The punters are reacting from the chat. The viewer count is not falling. Interestingly, why is CCR34 so interested in me? I don't know. I mean, Dirk, you are one of the most interesting men in this show, but I don't know. It is strange. It is strange. He seems to be pretty fixated on you. Maybe it's the Elvis picture. Maybe because you're the king. Yeah, but look, I mean, that belt is very utilitarian. It allows you to carry your gun with abandon without having to worry about your luxury belt. It allows you to just fall asleep on the couch and on the floor, perhaps next to your newborn. And
that is the main one. Like I found myself having to change my pants and belt combo like multiple times a day, depending on what I was doing, and it was just getting so annoying. I said, I just want one belt that I can do everything with, including sleep with it, and actually wear a proper size gun at the same time. It's like, yeah, it worked.
And since it's Velcro, when it needs to come off, that can also be achieved. That can also be done.
Well, I mean, that's it's funny you mentioned that. Like a really popular belt is the Cobra buckle belt for tactical things, but it's a nice belt. They hold up. They're very comfortable, but the buckle is actually wider than the belt loops, which means you can't. It's actually very difficult to swap belt. You have to remove the buckle from the actual belt before you can pull the belt out of your belt loop. So it's even more like those are the kinds of things I was dealing with before I got this belt.
Derek Diggler, I see you in the chat so much, but never hear much from you. Such a mystery. Actually, Dirk turns up pretty often. It's just I think he has been a little busy lately. That's all. He was almost ever present, like you said, and he was also jumping on the streams too. And Wristwatchholic confirms you must have missed a legendary stream. Legendary Nights. HBO had these documentaries as well about like iconic boxing bouts. They had whole documentaries about them. Legendary Nights. Dirk versus Herman. Sorry, a question for the panel. What is the worst model in the Rolex lineup? Does this even need to be asked?
No, it can be asked. I've got a controversial opinion on this one.
Okay. Well, then I will leave the floor to you last. I will just give my short answer.
Yeah.
Yachtmaster 2.
Yeah,
Yachtmaster.
I think the Yachtmaster 2, you know, there's a lot of things that are wrong, like the fact that the 10-0 is on the watch twice for some reason, and
Mhm.
you know, regatta timer. But I can see why someone would like it. I do like the pushes on it. You know, like there's some aspects of it that are interesting, but it's also too big as well. Can we see it just in steel? Like here's a really terrible part. Now you asked which one's nice, but the really terrible part is like how much the steel version costs. Pull up the steel version.
Yeah, let's see.
It'll be under, if you just hit configurator. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the configurator
There we go.
can. Yeah.
Look at the price. That's unbelievable for steel. 18.75. It's outrageous. But you know, there's things to like here. I mean, the blue bezel's nice, the platinum inlay, and the pushes are unique. It's overly busy, sure, and it says Yachtmaster in the most garish way possible, but you know, it is what it is. For me, Sky-Dweller. I'd get a Yachtmaster 2 over a
Okay.
Sky-Dweller. I just think the dial on the Sky-Dweller is just so complex, and I completely forget about its complications, and I'm only really thinking about how ugly it is, and the fact that it can only come with a fluted bezel because it's the command ring thing. That being said, the Yachtmaster 2 is actually the first watch that had the command ring. People completely forget
Mhm.
about that, but the command ring is the first one there. So yeah, pick that one, like that one
You,
with the
you
white
just want the
dial.
yellow gold? Yeah.
No, the yellow
Yellow
gold with
with
white
white?
dial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think this is ugly. I don't see any
Okay.
reason to pay for this.
All right. Well, Smoking Joe, welcome to the panel. What's your take on this? What's the ugliest watch in the Rolex lineup for you?
I want to say instinctively Air King, but I think you're right, Lord. I think it's got to be that Yachtmaster 2.
Yeah. I thought again, I thought that that would be almost a unanimous vote, but hey, it's the good and bad thing about having people who are independent thinkers on the panel is that they come up with this kind of
But
opinion.
I've never in my life said like, oh, I wish I had a date just that was just bulkier and less dial options. That would be fantastic and costs way more and is harder to get.
All very valid points, actually. I mean, I can't specifically argue against them, but if we are looking for something that
Like my friend really loved,
that
like
is
everyone
ugly,
does, the blue Sky-Dweller on steel, right? But
yeah.
honestly, the date just with blue dial looks better. My opinion, like the stick dial of blue on the date just steel, it just looks better. I don't understand why
I
all the
was like,
fascination.
to hell with this guy. I'm leaving right now.
Yeah,
No, of course I'm stupid and I pressed the wrong button and kicked myself out while I was trying to click to um the
different
blue
pictures. Yeah,
the blue one.
yeah. I like everyone like number one coveted is this one, but side by side, I'd pick the DJ with blue dial and you know blue stick dial over this. I would. It's got a nicer case, and I honestly I really don't care about the annual complication
Hmm.
and the GMT the way they present it. I really don't care from the style of watch.
Yeah. Um Look, I actually Rolex doesn't really innovate in movements too much, right? In year 2000, when they introduced their automatic chronograph movement for the new generation of Daytona, that was, I think, after almost 5 decades, and it took them another basically 12 years to introduce yet another caliber, which was this particular version of the annual calendar. So I appreciate it even for that. But I actually like the simple steel one with the white dial. I think it's a very elegant watch. It's a beautiful watch. It's a nice piece and a very useful complication. Um,
I don't think it's that useful. Anyway. But like, to be honest, this combo of Jubilee and fluted, like, to me, with the date just dials, the more complicated the dial, the more I want
Mhm.
oyster and smooth bezel.
Yeah.
And the less complication on the dial, then you go for the Jubilee and the fluted. This is clearly a very complicated dial, and
Mhm.
so it being paired like mandatory with the fluted bezel, it's like, like if this was a date just dial, I would not pick this configuration.
I mean, the way you said it's just bloated, they just with a busier dial but less options. It kind of almost ruined it for me. I will have to admit that. But I think in the simplest configuration for me, which is the white dial in steel, I think it's still a beautiful watch. I love Oyster Flex as a concept. Genuinely don't think it works with this watch. I
It's
think
the worst.
it makes it very top heavy and very unappealing to me. Um, and again, you have very valid perspective on this, so I appreciate that you laid it out there. I still vote for Yachtmaster 2 for the ugliest watch in the current lineup, but that's just
So
me.
does he mean ugliest watch or more, or what? Worst, meaning like I don't know.
Oh my
Use
God,
wise, it's the worst.
who am I seeing here? Who is this?
Oh,
Oh,
hello.
it's the
Holy
YouTube
cow!
celebrity.
It's the
Oh
Pontiff.
my God. We were talking about his watch and he couldn't help himself.
Oh,
How
I
are you,
see.
Pontiff?
Hey, how you guys going? What's happening here?
I'm about to
I
get a
don't know.
shellacking, I think.
It's we are honored by your pontifical presence. We are delighted.
Yeah. I like the way, Lord, these guys who've never owned something, they're all experts. They're 5-minute experts.
Yes, please lay it
They
You are
lay it
quite
they
on the
all
correct. I'm not
come
even
out
close
and
to owning a
attack you.
Sky-Dweller.
Next we'll get Marcelo on.
Hmm?
Next we'll get Marcelo on to seek opinions, you know?
No, we won't get Marcelo to seek opinions. Trust me. That's I think you
Yeah,
do a good job of that on your
no,
show.
it's look, I got to tell you something. It's one of the greatest watches Rolex has ever produced. It's extremely useful. See, if you're in Vegas trying to keep the snakes away, it's probably not that useful. But it's a incredible watch. Not only is it just an amazing statement watch, it's also it's a GMT, a full GMT. A full GMT. You can't get better than a full GMT. And it's also the beauty of this watch here is it's an annual calendar. It knows 30, 31 days in the month. How do you say it's not useful? Could I ask you that? Why is it not useful?
On the annual calendar aspect, I'm never usually wearing one watch for more than 2 weeks at a time. So the fact that the date clicks over correctly is not a huge issue for me on watches that have dates.
You made your money out of crypto, didn't you? You're a crypto
No,
guy.
I've made money on crypto, but it's like I've talked to you before.
Yeah.
Like no more than 5% of your total portfolio should
See,
be
some
in
people
anything
don't want to know
alternative.
the dates. These crypto losers, they don't want to know the dates because it's all bleak. But it really tells you the most important things: the date, the month, and a second time zone. What more could you want in life?
It's true. It's
What
true.
more
It's
could
got
you want?
everything.
It's a big statement watch. Available in precious metal, two-tone, and steel. It doesn't get better than that, does it? Doesn't get
Well,
better than that.
I respect people's opinions.
Yeah. It doesn't get better. I mean, this is the Lord, you would love one of these watches, wouldn't you?
I would, but apparently the conspiracy theory was that bondage was gonna put a Breitling on my wrist, so that's a ghastly prospect. So I
Yes.
would take anything. I would take anything over that
Actually,
to begin with.
I don't mind Breitling. I'm starting to warm to it, but I gotta tell you, this watch is so useful. Captain of industry, second time zone, date, month. This is an amazing, and the command bezel to set it. Command bezel. Have you ever
Does it?
heard of any?
Yeah,
It's
the Yachtmaster
incredible.
2 features it as well.
It's an incredible feature.
Does
The Yachtmaster 2 is an amazing. It's a column wheel chronograph. Incredible. It's
yeah,
incredible piece of kit.
the Yachtmaster 2's movement is really something.
And we got
but
Meech there. Hello, Meech.
Hey, how's it going, Pontiff?
Hey, it's okay. We still love you, even though times are tough on the farm. We love you, okay?
All right, I might have to sub Betty. It's all gone pear-shaped.
I know. I can tell by the super chats on my stream. Jesus. I just highlight your comments out of respect to you, Meech.
Appreciate it.
And Pontiff, your Sky-Dweller is on Jubilee, right? I remember it correctly.
No, it's on Oyster. It's on an Oyster.
Wait,
but
let me-
you know, I think the bracelet is secondary. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is, you know, is that you got, you know, it doesn't matter two-tone steel, precious metal. It's just such a usable piece of kit. This is the statement watch of the 21st century. Hey, what do you think?
does the GMT function have a jumping hour?
It's incredible because you can use the command bezel to set that. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredible. It's for businessmen, you know. The businessmen are talking. Quiet, please. The businessmen are talking.
Pontiff,
You know?
if I only knew, I would dedicate at least 15 minutes of every show to talk shit about your collection.
Yeah, no, it's
If
okay,
I knew that would
man.
be enough to get you
It's
on the show, I
okay.
would have started this shit earlier.
You're doing the opposite of what you need to do. You're rewarding behavior that is despicable, right?
No, Lord's okay. Me and Lord are okay. Everything's cool.
We are more than okay. We are.
It's,
My problem was never with you, Pontiff. You know that very well.
I love your boy. Look at your boy. How old's your kid? What a lovely
2.5.
kid. Holy,
Oh my
what a
God.
beautiful boy.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'm just making him a little bit of chocolate milk before bed.
Oh man, that's so fantastic. What a great, that's the real wealth, Big Mish. Look at that. My God.
It really is. It
It's
really
amazing.
Absolutely.
Look, I got to tell you, the Sky-Dweller, you know, I couldn't get the Sky-Dweller. It takes a bit of maturity. You can't really get it to start with. It takes a while. It's not just an instant thing. You got to really, you know, it's kind of, it's one of those watches which I didn't understand it for a long time. It's one of these things, you know, it's only when you get one that you really do appreciate the brilliance of it, you know. It's amazing. I love mine. I love it. And it's a big size, big Mish. It's a big size.
I like this description of your vibe, Pontiff. I feel like this is when your dad is so pissed off and is talking real calm before he goes off.
So would you have held similar opinions in the past?
Look, I think it took a while to get used to it. You know, it's kind of, you think, oh, I was always disappointed I didn't have the day.
Hmm.
Then when I finally entered the inner sanctum, I realized you don't need that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's
I don't
kind of,
think you need the day. I agree on
you
that.
know,
It
I think
definitely is
it's
not missing a day.
I think it's amazing how they did it. It's just so clever. They were so clever how Rolex did it. And I got to tell you guys, Yachtmaster 2, I wouldn't mind one of those. I think they're a beautiful watch. All Rolexes are beautiful. And it's amazing. What a two-piece combo
Oh,
to have there.
nice. But I mean, you know, all Rolex is beautiful because it's. Can we get that with
Yeah,
some
no,
enthusiasm?
it's
Because it's
amazing stuff, you know.
Rolex. It's Rolex.
Rolex is just so cool. It's so cool, man. Rolex is the best, and you know that's the whole thing about Rolex. Rolex is the best brand in the world. It's for winners.
And
I want you to
Archie,
get more Rolexes. That's what I want you to do. I want you
when
to
you say
get
it like that,
more
I feel the
Rolexes.
sudden urge to go to David SW, David
Yes, and
SW,
just buy
and see
one.
what they have.
I called him
Um,
today.
if
I was
by the
trying
way,
to get a turquoise OP.
can we ask this question to the
Mm,
pontiff? I know you just said all Rolex is
mm.
amazing. You
Yeah,
have to love them all. But is there
yeah.
one that you love the least? Is there one that you would not want among Rolex lineup right now?
Look, I got to tell you, man, Rolex is a very, very special brand. You know, it's a cool brand. Um, no, I love Rolex. I love Rolex. What's the least desired one? Look, I don't think there's anything in Rolex I don't love. It takes a bit of getting used to, but that's the kind of brand it is. It takes a bit of getting used to, but it's fine once you get in there. And
What about the Cellini dress watch?
yeah, I'd love one. You know what? I'd love to get one of those princes with the Pav dime. You know, just the prince. I love them so much. I love them. They're Look, I actually the prince is probably best bang per buck in a Rolex. I'd love to have one just to have something different in the range. There's nothing in Rolex I wouldn't have. I love the Rolex. I love them. I love them. I got to tell you, you know, for a while there, I think the thing about the Sky-Dweller is it's such a statement watch. That's the whole thing about it, is that it's just such a cool thing to have. It's just it just it's just so useful for businessmen. You know, that's what it's for, businessmen. That's the whole idea of this watch. It's a captains of industry, because they're in the sky. They're not taking the bus. It's not a bus dweller. It's a sky dweller. Sky dweller. Dwelling. You know, sea dweller is in the ocean. Sky dwellers in the sky. They're dwelling on business deals and stuff, you know. Yeah, I think they're pretty good stuff. I think the Sky-Dweller is the one to have, guys. It could be a one and done. That's it. That's all you need. That's a beautiful. Look at that clasp. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the Rolexes. Yeah, yeah. I think the problem is, Lord, a lot of people criticize the Sky-Dweller who can't afford it. See, they want to say to him, you know what?
No, no longer for sure. I think
I
Aussie has gone way over his budget at this point, but he could at some point afford a Sky Dweller, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it's a great watch. Sell anything to get it. You got to get it. Gotta get it. You got Maker's Mark and Jameson on the bench there. That's good.
Oh no, my collection is trash. What?
It's okay as long as
Yeah, it's trash.
That's okay, but that's okay. You got a family. He's got responsibilities, Lord. He's got responsibilities. There's nothing wrong with those. I drink those. They're okay. They're okay.
Yeah, they're drinkable.
Yeah. How have you been, Lord? I've missed you. You know that?
You did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. This was
Mm.
such a nice surprise. It's a nice way to cap off the day, to be honest, to have you here, to have the honor.
Yeah. No, I couldn't afford one. CCR 34. No, you're right, CC. It's that they're expensive. They're not cheap. This is the big thing. They're expensive. They're a lot of money. That's the problem with Rolex, is that they are a lot of money. By the way, did you see Timepiece Gentleman's blew $1 million? What did you think of that, Lord?
He's next door, as you know. I was so disappointed. I didn't even have a chance to make an appointment, and he's already gone.
Mm.
I should have just, maybe I will walk over and help him move some furniture, but he doesn't really have furniture, so I guess he doesn't need help.
No, that's it. Guys, I got to shoot off. It's great chatting to you. Big match. It's great to see you, man.
Likewise.
Take care, Arch.
Thank you.
I tell you what, just love the Sky-Dweller. It's a great watch. You know, doors open up for you when you have the Sky-Dweller. This is the thing. You get the Sky-Dweller, certain doors open up, appointments. You want to get a hard to do. Everything comes into place. You see, it's just, it all happens. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's just amazing. It's an amazing watch. It's an amazing watch. Okay, guys, I better let you go on.
Did you see this very quickly? I had a chance to try on platinum annual calendar.
Oh, it's lovely. That's gorgeous stuff. It's a lovely
so
watch,
nice.
hey? That's
Felt
a 5056,
amazing
I think, isn't it? It's a 5056, that is it?
Yep, a 5035 P.
Oh, actually, it can't be. It can't be a 5035. They've made a mistake, okay? They don't know what they're doing, because the 5035 doesn't have the moon phase or the power reserve. The platinum version, which had the moon phase and the power reserve, is actually a 5056.
Okay. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, it's very similar, same family, but that's a 5056. 5056 has got the moon phase, because 5035 doesn't have the moon phase. Beautiful stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful. But that's definitely a 5056. Okay, guys.
Say,
Keep
Archie.
going, Lord. We love you. Yes, Mitch.
I love you
See you
too.
later, Mitch.
Quick question,
Mitch.
Arch. Hot or not?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a shitter, or does it get the Pontiff seal of approval?
Ooh, what is this? It's a steel date just on an oyster. I love it, man. How could you not love that? It's a Rolex. That's a beautiful watch. What's wrong with that? What color dial? Blue or black?
It's hard to see, but it is the pure black.
It's fucking gorgeous. It's a gorgeous watch. Wear it in good health, my friend. It's beautiful. That's a fantastic watch. What's wrong with that? What did you sell to get that?
Arch, I'll admit, I overpaid for it, but it's to line myself up for a Batgirl.
That's okay. It's a beautiful watch, Big Mish. Okay, guys. See you later.
Take care, Arch.
Take care, Pontiff. Bye.
Okay.
Oh wow. Well, that was a nice surprise. I appreciate that. Tomorrow we are gonna talk about how outdated and antiquated small size Pateks are. So I hope we will have another surprise. Anything smaller than 39 in Patek is completely passé, guys. And we're gonna focus on that in tomorrow's show.
And why the steel is the wrong metal to get a Sky-Dweller.
Pontiff, it was a real pleasure, and you know, for good and bad, one thing that I love when it happens, and this happened when I was moderating your show as well, when I was hosting your show as a guest, when you jumped on because you wanted to join the discussion because you were excited about the watches that we were talking about, and hey. Same here. This time you were excited, perhaps, you know, because people were talking shit about the watch you like. But in either case, this was a beautiful moment. And subscribe, guys, if you haven't, for the love of the Pontiff, and like the stream. It gives me just that little bit of an exposure as I make my way to 1,000 subs. And thank you for your support, Pontiff. Thank you for this seal of approval. And guys, spread the word, share the link on other platforms, and help me get to 1,000 subs and get this channel monetized. And if you want to support the channel until then, you can always consider a PayPal contribution. LordHellespontV@gmail.com. LordHellespontV@gmail.com. Please, also, if you want to reach me, that's the best way to do that. And I have a Cash App, $LHVVV, $LHVVV. And thank you for all the people who dropped in while the Pontiff was here. Forbin Colossus, Shamba Basher just woke up and joined. Mr. Zoso, Forbin Colossus, GB Vol, and everyone else who has been watching in the background, just like the Pontiff was. You never know. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Mystery shopper.
I'm gonna have to look through Pontiff's older videos to see what he's said about the Sky-Dweller in the past.
Dude, you were, you know, you were sneaky too. You know, rather than confronting him head on, you were asking all these questions to, you know, oh, so you did have different opinions in the past about Sky-Dweller. Tell me more.
Look, I know people love the Sky-Dweller, but
you know, I'm not sure what to call it. We need to come up with a different name, but I kind of like this new version of Archie Explodes, right? It's like Archie Explodes, but like in an environmentally friendly way, in a less toxic way, where he just talks down to you paternalistically. It's kind of beautiful and poetic in its own way, and I loved having it on my channel.
Yeah, I'll just go back to killing snakes.
Well, I mean, I don't know why you would be wasting your bullets on the snakes, but
Keep them out of my yard, man. It's important.
I don't even know. I mean, do you guys even have that many snakes in Las Vegas?
I've never seen one though.
Oh man.
Get more of them in Australia, actually. Like snakes and spiders are everywhere.
And Mr. Zoso says, okay, well, I mean, the guy wanted to go on with his day, and you want to pile on. Sky-Dweller, too big, wears awkward. Hey, man. Archie, passive aggressive, in a soft spoken, feminine way. Jimmy, I keep telling you, this is the channel. If you want to get in touch with your feminine side, if you want to explore your masculinity at a deeper level, you come to Untimely Meditations. This is the channel for it. This is the platform for it. We love men on this channel. That's great. Archie deflated the room. No, guys, I'm genuinely shocked. I'm in the same place. I don't believe in anything I see on YouTube. So if you feel like this was staged and scripted, I won't blame you. But this mood should explain to you that I was myself caught off guard. I had no idea, no background communication. And suddenly you have the heaviest of heavy hitters in the room. That was pretty awesome. What do you think about that, Mitch?
I'm in shock, Lord. I'm in shock. I mean, I need to pinch myself. I think I'm still dreaming.
I think what was truly how do we say grating for anyone in that position was, I think a lot of chat was agreeing with my Sky-Dweller criticism. It's like,
Okay.
you've influenced half of the community.
You really want a round two, huh?
No, I'm just saying, like, if you go back and look at the chat, like, before he came in, I could see what he was seeing. He was seeing that there wasn't enough pushback, and he was the only one that had to do it. It was either him or nobody else.
Archie's doctor said to keep the blood pressure down. Hey guys, that's a good advice for everyone. Wristwatchholic. Oh my god, people keep piling on. Guys, where were you when he was actually here? Sky-Dweller does not have history. And Pat Windback-Ben says Meech is in shock. And Jimmy says, no, I like the Sky-Dweller. And GB Vol says Aussie is right 110%.
I've never heard anyone actually agree with me on the Sky-Dweller thing. I just thought it was my take. But nobody agrees with me, Arch. You don't have to come back on. Nobody agrees.
Guys, CCR, you're right. It was cool that it came on, but it clearly came on because the panel was talking bad about the Sky-Dweller. But you know what he came on for? He came on for Watch Talk. Watch Talk, maybe he can't even get on his show. Whether we were talking shit or not, we were talking about watches, and the Pontiff still has in him to come and argue and talk passionately about watches that he cares for, brands that are dear to him, models that he feels strongly about. And guys, if you want to talk watches, you come to Untimely Meditations, you come to my channel. If you want to talk shit about watches, you come here as well. It turns out it's all good. And MLMJ says, I like the Sky-Dweller.
I just want to say, so obviously, Archie, you were needling there a little bit, right? But I'll give you the free one. I've already stated that I've already lost over $1 million this year. I've lost a lot of money, but it wasn't just in crypto. The regular market's enough pain, never mind the crypto.
That's true. That's true. So, right, the guys in the Alex continues, the Sky-Dweller is too thick. Arch's new thing is the Hermes stuffed animal horse. And welcome to the channel that stuffs its own animals, if they do at all. How did we come here? The least attractive watch in the Rolex lineup. We offered our opinions, and we still want to hear from the chat. I know the Yachtmaster 2 is the go-to, is the popular option. We all love piling on the Yachtmaster 2 because the dial is too busy, because there are too many colors, because already in steel it's very expensive and very large and very loud. But then again, suddenly there was this new argument for Sky-Dweller, which I think, again, in all fairness, Aussie articulated very well, even though I disagree with it. I think he had fair points, especially that whole shtick about bloated date just with less
Hey,
option
hey, hey, hey!
for the
I
dial
was
and
defending the
configuration.
Yachtmaster 2 when nobody else was. Come on, come on! I get points for that, but
No, I'm
you
saying,
know,
like, it's this is the trouble of having independent thinkers on the panel. This is the trouble of for not having a party line. This is the trouble uh, with channels where the Comintern doesn't reign supreme. No conspiracy going on behind the scenes. People just jump on and talk watches. So what else do we hate? Paulwy says, Turtle Knight says Sky-Dweller definitely too thick. And Shamba Basher makes a good point. Archie loves the ugly ducklings. Paulwy says Yachtmaster 2 or Sky-Dweller on Oyster Flex. On Oyster Flex, I also don't like the Sky-Dweller. I
wait,
mentioned
wait,
that.
wait. Oh, he was choosing which. I thought he was implying the Yachtmaster 2 came on Oyster Flex. I'm like, whoa, that's a huge watch to put on a rubber
That's his
bracelet.
least two least favorites. And Dirk says Air King and Yachtmaster. I figure Dirk actually doesn't like the Yachtmaster line at all. That's what he was saying
Oh,
earlier. Not
really?
only
Even the
two.
Yachtmaster 1 in
Yeah,
all
and
variants, even like the precious metal with the ceramic bezel.
yeah, let's see,
That's
Dirk. Yeah, what do you think about the Everrose, about the steel in 37 or 40? Do you hate those too?
well, the white gold 42. That's a very different watch as well.
Paulwy says Sky-Dweller on Oyster Bracelet is a winner, though, and that's an opinion worthy of Bishop Paulwy, proud devotee of the pontiff. Ellen Gildo says Air King, cartoonish. Mr. Zoso, I love the complication of the Sky-Dweller, but do not like the way it wears. I just do not like it. I can't get into most Rolex that's blinged out with jewels and diamonds. Another unpopular configuration, even though I like Rolex factory diamond dials. Actually, I just love it. I'm not talking necessarily about the ones like the rainbow and the roulette and the leopard, the tiger, whatever. I'm not talking about those configurations necessarily, but like a Daytona with small flawless diamonds for indices, love it. Baguettes for indices, love it. For me, that's just elegance, but I know for other people it's just outrageous and unacceptable on a men's watch. Jake Brooks says Leopard Daytona Nick Cage.
I'm a really big fan of Nick Cage, and this is Las Vegas, so I would have 1 point, one extra point for that one.
And Shamba Basher defends the Air King, saying it's a beauty in the hand, Alan. And MLMJ was attacking the Air King too. Frankly, I think.
I like the new Air King. I like the new Air King.
Oh, this is actually um, our other small win for the day with Alex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually like new Air King. I used to think down on the Air King, but with the new case, and it really a lot of it is the new case. I'm not like, no, I'm not going to cause too much trouble. I was about to say I don't like the case from the Milgauss, but I didn't actually say that.
Especially the Z Blue dial. Did you say?
Yeah. No, I really dislike if they reuse parts, basically. Like, I really, really love, like, once I got my hands on it and saw that the Explorer 36mm was not literally an Oyster Perpetual 36mm, that it was a new watch in every way, then I really got it. Like, I like when Rolex sweats the details. They don't reuse parts just because they can. And that's why I really disliked the Air King before, that, okay, you're reusing a case. Like, why is that a positive?
Sorry, guys. I just wanted to send the link to Professor. I don't want to look like I'm keeping him off. Sorry about that, El Profesor. I thought you would. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with my channel. I don't like talking conspiracy theories about being shadow banned and whatever else, but I feel like sometimes it's hard for people to find my live stream. I don't know what's going on. But yes, I sent the StreamYard directly, El Profesor, so feel free to jump on. And there he is. Hey. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome, Professor.
Hey, guys. I missed the great pontiff.
Yes, unfortunately.
Well,
Well,
one comment.
you now know what it takes to invoke him. Now you just.
Yes.
Good night, Dirk. Good night.
It's interesting because if you get a free watch, you will always be delightful about the watch you get. I mean, imagine you get a free watch and you say shit about the watch. So you have to praise the watch. Praise the Lord.
Well, I mean, look, in by and large, I do adopt that mentality, but within reason. I mean,
but if you're gifted a watch, Lord, let's say you're gifted a Sky-Dweller.
I actually like the Sky-Dweller, though. That's the problem. If I were gifted a Yachtmaster 2, that could be a very difficult gift to accept.
No, but you can never return it back. I mean, you'll keep it. Wear it, when you do a show, but then throw it. Chuck it into the background.
I'll just respond to my troll. Yeah, this is a 2000s era kitchen, but I don't own this house. I'm a renter.
It's okay. It's okay. We're all good. So, El Profesor, maybe you can respond to this question as well. Is there a particular model in the current Rolex lineup that deserves your ire, that you truly dislike, that you maybe hate?
Hate. Well, Rolex has such a marketing genius that they force us to love everything. I mean, the Air King was the shittiest of the models, and now it's cherished and loved by everybody just because they added a few colors and a zero. And they put a
And now
crown.
onto my next guest, Air King Ben is in the background. No, I'm just
well, bring them all. I mean,
no, he's not here.
It's all marketing. Well, it's all marketing. The other day you had this gentleman who had the Cellini. A nice watch, fine. The way Rolex places its watches on their website is all based on marketing. Has nothing to do. It's strategically placed to entice and encourage people to buy these models. The no date sub, the Sky-Dweller, the platinum white gold, whatever they have, Daytona. It's there for a reason. So is there a watch which we hate? Well, now Rolex has turned everything around that anything you get from Rolex is great. So, is there a one I particularly dislike? Mechanically, they're all basic watches mechanically, with some exceptions, right? The Sky-Dweller is an exception, and the Yachtmaster. Within, I can tell you, Rolex, within the employees of Rolex, at the mid to higher echelons, the preferred watch, because they get huge discounts, but appreciation from the engineers, is the Yachtmaster.
Yeah, I can see that. Like the annual calendar is a neat way to solve a problem, but ultimately, I don't think the month counting thing is actually that complicated to add. Like even I could devise such a thing with my my engineering. But the flyback regatta timer, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's for them it's considered to be mechanically quite advanced, although for us the normal people it's useless completely and utterly. So it's really a show off piece. If it's the gold one, you know, this is how much money I can make. It's the you know piss off watch. And then for the connoisseurs, it is an advancement in horology, but you know, again, it's useless because even the yacht people do not use it. So yeah, I think now in this market everything is loved, and it's loved because it's rare. So even if they give you an Air King, it will be celebrated. They give you a Sky-Dweller. By the way, I agree with one of the comments presented here earlier that the blue with a Jubilee is far nicer. Well, it's nicer because if you wear the Sky-Dweller, the Oyster bracelet makes it chunkier, whereas the Jubilee makes it lighter. So for a 42 millimeter watch and a thicker case, it wears much better than the Oyster. But you know, in life, if it's something for free, you know, you take it, you say thank you, and you move on, and then pray and wish that the watch market doesn't decline further. So if you try to sell it, people are not going to give you $10,000 for it. You
And I
know,
mean, guys, just so you know, the professor is talking about a general phenomenon. Like if you know, it's just conjecture. If you were given a watch for free, you would be forced to like it, and you know, just
yeah. I was
speculating,
given watches for
spitballing
free.
here. We're not talking
Yeah.
about.
I was. No. I was. I'm speaking personally from experience. You know, I was given free watches. It has once I've returned it back because it was bribery. It was a gold day date Rolex. So I had to return it, but I kept a couple of them, much lesser stature than a gold day date. And you know, I gave them out. One I gave it to my mom. The other one I gave both of them to my mom. So yeah, there you celebrate them because somebody has gone into an effort to buy them, unless it's for bribery or say good things about the brand, right? I mean, I'm not into that, but otherwise, you know, whatever pleases people. I mean, hardship is coming, guys. So if they gift you a watch, just get it, and then if you can, sell it.
Professor, can I tell you something though about our experience today and what it feels like being in a boutique, in a buyer's market, and in a brand boutique that actually is desperate to sell you stuff. So with my friend Alex, wristwatchholic in this space, we went to the Tudor Boutique in one of the nice malls here in Los Angeles, in Century City specifically, and he was picking up the new Black Bay Pro with the bracelet. Um, this is the watch that's heavily inspired by 1655, the so-called Steve McQueen, and it was basically fully stocked up. They had most every model that Tudor has in its lineup. It's a brand exclusive boutique, brand dedicated boutique run by Westtime, but for Tudor. And they were begging us for Google reviews, um, giving us free swag, and you know, just letting us have a field day with everything in the boutique. They gave us like these camouflage Westtime hats that would be more at home on Aussie expats' head than mine. Um, I mean, it's nice for me because, like, I'm so balding that I'm desperate to cover my head. But
Can we get closer? What's that branding? Oh, what's the merch for?
West Time, it's
Oh, I
a
see.
dealer, and it's like they even have it on the clasp here, like their
Why do
logo.
you think they went with camouflage?
I don't know. Why
Seems such an
would
odd choice for a luxury watch retailer.
I mean, West Time sells just about every brand. So,
Mhm.
like, from, I think, Breitling, Chopard, Girard Perregaux, Tudor. I think they have just about everything. So it's not like they have one uniform brand identity necessarily. But look, based on what Professor said, I think he might be experiencing some difficulty with this connection. But I think we got that. It wasn't sheer desperation, right? I'm not exaggerating. I don't want to exaggerate, I should say. But really, there was, like, you could see how hard she was actually trying, which is, of course, very different than when you are in a Rolex boutique 2-3 months ago, or when you were in an Audemars Piguet boutique, just a few weeks ago. It was different. It felt like, they actually recognized you as a customer, and they were trying to sell you something which they actually had in the case. Jimmy says younger Jen loves the camel, and Bezos says West Time till I die.
What?
Aussie is
Very
asking
passionate.
how many units. West Time sells everything but Rolex, Audemars Piguet, Vacheron Constantin, so no Richemont, I guess, Lange und Söhne, and Breguet. Nice. And 300 is in the chat. Welcome back, 300. Nice to see you. He's enjoying your troll. Joe, what do you think about Aussie's kitchen?
I'm not going to say anything since I'm in the middle of remodeling mine, so I'm not going to bark too loud.
Okay, you're not taking any hints from Aussie Expat about remodeling your kitchen. You are not modeling your kitchen after Aussie's kitchen.
No, because well, to be frank, my kitchen's vaguely similar to his. I mean, my old man's kitchen's like from the 90s, so.
Mhm. Yeah, this is a big step up from my apartment in Seattle, but like I've talked about it with my wife, that if we bought this house, we're always thinking about like renewal time. Should we make an offer on the house? But it honestly needs a lot of money in renovation. It's nice enough to rent at the right price, but if you had to buy one of these right now, the price is so high, you'd want it to be better than what it is. So it's more an issue that like the price of these houses in Vegas right now are overpriced. They just went through way too much appreciation in the last 2 years.
Jimmy says Professor is right. The minute the world's governments started printing free money for its citizens to stay at home, there was always going to be a reckoning.
Hey, in California, Gavin Newsom's going to write out some inflation stimmies, some new checks to fight inflation. Some more helicopter money to correct inflation's bad.
Hey, look, I mean, we love our free money. What can I say?
I wish
I'm trying
Professor
so
wasn't
hard.
having any technical issues.
Yeah, I'm trying so hard not to express anything political, but yeah, not a huge fan of governments. Period. Let's just start there. What a nightmare. Cali, last time I checked, was in debt up to its eyeballs. It's I mean, I've never seen anyone, any politician, certainly not in California, deliver on their campaign promises. So not expecting anything better from the next crop, because we are supposed to be going into a mayoral election in Los Angeles as well. So MLMG says Bank of England Federal Reserve has been printing free money for years. And why do you have to pay for landscaping as a renter?
Some do, some don't, right?
Anyway, I'll stop with the political talk. No worries, Jimmy. That wasn't a way to stop you from saying. I just as the host, I'm trying to be as fair and balanced, so to speak, as one could. Otherwise, you are more than free to express your opinion, no matter how political and no matter where in the spectrum. And you have the platform here. This is truly a platform of everyone, for everyone, except for bigots of any kind. That's the only kind of person who is not welcome here.
I'm not actually familiar with that show, so
Me neither, but it sounds funny. Okay, Professor is having technical problems. I'm sorry. No need to apologize, Professor. You'll join us next time, perhaps. All right. Well, that's it's nice, Ozzy. Yes, I mean, I think that's one of the ways of making it. I mean, I was trolling you a little bit. Your hair looks a little better now, but like when you gave yourself that fuck.
Well, that was an honest mistake. That was not me at my best, that's for sure.
I mean, I'm just, because you kept talking about it, like, I've been doing it for a decade, and it's really the kind of skill that you only gain by practicing. And I'm like, you have certainly not been practicing much. Hey, that's one of the comforts of being a balding older gentleman.
Yeah,
I don't
so
have to worry.
I used to go just one setting and just do it all, so just zero effort. But I've been trying to make it a little bit more stylish, and yeah, it's getting very difficult to keep up with it. And it was just too much for me to figure out. I ended up just using the shaver without any blade to protect the length of the hair at all.
And Turtle Knight has a great point, by the way. Free speech, except Sky-Dweller hate speech. It came down to lay the law.
You're gonna get flagged. Watch out. We got some racism on the Sky-Dweller.
Man, that was interesting. And I do, by the way, Turtle Knight. I actually do love the brand, so I kind of have the hots for that Royal Oak Black Panther themed wall clock you have there. By the way, one of the beautiful things about Watch Nicholas would love this, the Breguet Boutique in Beverly Hills. Among all wall clocks, they had marine wall clock as well, with an actual hand guilloche wave dial as well. It was one of the most beautiful things I've seen. I'm actually a huge fan of that model to begin with. So to see it executed at level was also fantastic. I just want to pull it up for those who maybe are not familiar. This is kind of a representation of the fact that Abraham Louis Breguet was the official horologist of the French Navy already in the early 19th century. So they have this entire line for a while called the Marine. And the most recent generation has this very striking execution of hand-guided guilloche at the center of the dial. And the way the arbitrariness of those lines give this lively effect when they catch light at different angles is truly a sight to see. And as predictable as it is, it really does look like the play of waves when you're staring into the ocean. There are a lot of aspects of the design that people don't like and pick apart, and some parts of it I do agree to, but overall I find this to be a very striking and elegant watch, and quite a great execution of a sports watch that's also recognizably Breguet, kind of in the way that the Odysseus is recognizably a Lange watch, yet also sporty enough. So I like this line, and I know Watch Nicholas does as well. I came pretty close. They are trending, by the way, quite nicely in the secondary market, as Breguet watches do, almost at 50% off. So by the end of the year, maybe we can pick these up for 15K, which for a white gold watch on a rubber band or on an alligator band, that's not a bad deal at all. And there's also the less in-your-face nautical version, which is the pink gold with kind of a silvered dial, silvered slate gray. Ozzy, are you thinking of a comeback to the troll? I see that you're quite pensive tonight.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I guess you couldn't pick anything I care about least. I think it's not actually mine. I don't...
It is. It's been, guys. Let's please sympathize with Ozzy. He was caught off guard by the pontiff. You know, he's experiencing his first committed troll, other than the host of this show. That's just to clarify, because I tried at least to troll him, probably unsuccessfully. Probably couldn't get under his skin because the guy just has these Australians, man. It's hard to make fun of you people. You don't take it too seriously. It's just like, water off the duck's back. Pontiff came down from the mountain with the tablets.
He did.
And they were broken. Which bit has the style, Ozzy? What does that mean?
Yeah,
I missed that one.
I'm not sure if there's a typo there. I couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah. No, I kind of, as tacky as they can be sometimes, I like sports watch themed wall clocks, and I know most of them are actually fake, right? You have these Rolex ones, for example, that are clearly not endorsed or made by the brand. But you have nice desk clocks that are sometimes made by these brands. I know there was like a deconstructed Royal Oak offshore desk clock that I saw once. Like, I don't know if I can find a picture of it.
I thought you were about to say something about the JLC desk clocks, those
I mean, that's a
perpetual
genre.
style ones.
Yeah, that's a genre of
Atomic
its
or
own,
something.
of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
Atmos. Yeah.
Atmos. That's it. Those are pretty cool. I just don't have a desk that would work for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, that's really their thing. It powers itself by the changes in the room temperature, and apparently they're also kind of fragile, right? You can't move them
Mhm.
around too much, apparently. um Honestly, it's not something that I looked into too carefully. So to explain the movement, I would need to study it a little more. So I'm not going to talk just off my backside, but I'm trying to see if I can find this. Um, I think it was one of these auction sites that sold it recently. So maybe I can find it there. It was like yeah, take it away, Ozzy, if you could.
Yeah, I was just talking about the shave, the razor for cutting my hair. Like for 10 years, I never cared about exactly what happened up there, but for some reason, through COVID, while everyone else was doing their hair the same way, I decided I had to be different. So I had to had to try. It was terrible. It didn't work. Resulted in about 2 weeks in being basically bald. So
Thankfully, you had your Tudor hat coming to the rescue, right? That was
yes,
about
yeah,
the
new
same
Tudor
time.
hat.
I did find it. I did find it. All right. So this is actually, I don't think this is an actual working clock. Um, but it's like, you see that?
How big is this? Is this an actual watch?
No, I don't think it's a working thing, but it's like it's basically a paperweight,
Yeah.
just a deconstructed Royal Oak offshore. And yeah, it literally says paperweight. $7,500 worth of paperweight, by the way, it seems.
Isn't this the opposite of horology?
I think it's very worthy of Audemars Piguet in our time, I guess. But here's some sense of its proportions because it's not listed.
Oh, I don't mean like as in like the watch hobby in general as a synonym for it, but isn't horology like about things actually working? Like it's not horology if it's literally a paperweight.
Yeah. Although again, I just loved seeing a deconstructed version of it, and for whatever reason, my memory played tricks on me, and I thought it was actually a working clock of some sort. Like there was something about it that was working, but actually not. It's just everything about the watch except for his movement laid out in this particular way, which looks like very artistic, but not, like you said, not very horological at all. And that's the most expensive paperweight that I've ever seen.
This would be very difficult to make, I think. This is not simple because I think they're implying this is a material that's much more dense than maybe acrylic, and to keep all of the parts sort of relatively aligned in those positions and everything, it's not that simple and keeping it that clear. I'm not exactly sure how they did it actually.
You know, I'm sure I need some expensive paper, Turtlelight says, for that paperweight. Hey, that whole
The
scene
weapon.
of Christian Bale, sweating and shaking when he saw Paul Allen's card. So, sky is the limit with stationery as well. If you want to go custom and get watermarks and your initials and your signature and whatever else. Personalized stationery used to be all the rage at some point in time. Now we don't know how to read, and we certainly don't know how to write. We can barely string 2 sentences together. So don't worry about it.
I'm gonna have to ask, like, what exactly do units mean? Is it the cabinetry? Is that units? Someone likes their kitchens, basically.
Look, I mean, it does give me joy. Like, I don't have a particularly extravagant kitchen, but I spent quite a bit of time since I cook for myself,
Mhm.
and I need to feed myself. So I do care a little bit about my kitchen, but not strongly enough that it's the first thing in my mind when I remodel. But hey, some people love kitchens more than others. Jimmy says, yes, the units are the cabinets.
I mean, for me, as long as I'm cooking with gas, that's all I need. Bench space and gas.
Now you're cooking with gas. Now you're cooking with oil. Yeah, the Atmos clock. Let's check out some examples of that. This is their copy is actually pretty good on this. It's a beautiful one sentence description of the mechanism: a timeless modern clock with a truly revolutionary perpetual caliber, able to wind itself from nothing but air. There we go.
It was on temperature variation, right? It wasn't. We're
Mm-hmm.
not talking airflow. Like, this is a sealed container, is it not?
So let's see what it says. The revolutionary winding mechanism is powered by the contraction and expansion of a mixture of gases. Timeless in its elegant aesthetic, the Atmos epitomizes the exceptional proficiency of Jaeger-LeCoultre's craftsmen and women and the brilliance of the Maison's Atelier des Métiers Rares that has inspired generations of designers. Oof. Nicknamed the President's Clock, the Atmos was the official gift of the Swiss Confederation. Oh, wow. The secret of Atmos lies in the capsule placed within its mechanism that is capable of transforming ambient temperature variations into mechanical energy. The Atmos counts the hours day after day, year after year, requiring neither winding, electric energy, nor human intervention. A variation of just 1 degree Celsius guarantees a 48-hour power reserve. Its economical ring-shaped balance consumes 250 times less energy than that of a classic wristwatch, and it would take 60 million Atmos clocks to consume the same amount of energy as a 15-watt bulb. Nice. So it basically, the gases move that balance weight to generate the energy.
What was that number again? 60 million.
60 million Atmos clocks would consume the same amount of energy as 15-watt bulb, it says. But yeah, they have versions of it with a moon phase. They have simple two-hander versions, more modernist ones. The transparent one, which is kind of a paperweight that actually works as a clock. So an exposed movement, an exhibited movement, and a more, I think, sparse and minimalistically modern dial.
I'm trying to figure out if that amount of energy actually is that significant. I mean, that's a lot of zeros, basically. Like, you divide 15 watts by 60 million. That's not much energy left, not much power left.
Wait, Evan Augenkamp. Evan, welcome back to the show. Who is the best dressed golf? I don't know anything
Golfer.
about golf or golfers, by the way, so I don't know.
I'll go with the other comment, John Daly.
Hmm.
Hey, that's not an expert of style here.
I mean, yeah, I really don't know, actually.
You can look up John Daly.
Let's see. We can pull him up, but actually, I think I don't know any golfers except for Tiger Woods.
Oh, okay. So John Daly is a champion. He won the British Open. Played at the top tier of golf for a long time. He's a hero for many.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Man, look at those pants. Those are fantastic.
Yeah.
Normally
Like
found
before the
barefoot
tournament, like he spent the entire 2 hours at the casino just drinking, and then just won the Open like the next day afterwards.
Yeah, he's famous for practicing very little.
Yeah, I mean, this is just beyond his style. I think it's just a beautifully created man. It's just the essence of
This is
prime masculine expression.
that you may not like how it looks, but this is what peak performance looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I'm absolutely ignorant on golf, so I don't even know what golfers are supposed to look like. So I guess that's it.
These days they're getting a little jacked, to be honest. John Daly's the last of a breed for sure. I love that the cigarette.
I do love that kind of, yeah. Low key, I love an athlete or I used to love it when some of the football coaches, soccer coaches, I should say, I guess, on this program, used to smoke, on the bench. I don't think that's welcome anymore. I don't think that's accepted or allowed. That's nice. I mean, the Cuban link, the cigarette, the mullet, it's just an altogether beautifully put
Oh wow,
together
he was
look.
a PGA championship winner. So he literally is champion. Awesome. Yeah, he's a classic honest guy. Gambles too much, drinks too much, spends too much money.
Okay, Miguel Angel Jimenez. Let's see. I'm supposed to comment. I mean, Evan, I think first of all, I'm kind of flattered that you think I'm qualified to comment on anyone's outfits. As you know, our resident style expert is actually Smoking Joe, Big Meech, who has learned everything he knows about style from Gentleman's Gazette YouTube channel. I think I should leave it to him to comment on Miguel Angel Jimenez's outfits.
Yeah, I don't follow golf. Golf's not my expertise either. I find it to be quite boring and drab.
I mean, I kind of like that fat cigar that he's smoking there. I will give him that. And I think, not to be too TGV here, but a nice polo shirt is always more than acceptable. I kind of want the contact information of his barber. That's a nice perm.
What watch is this? Is that on a bun strap?
I think that's Royal Oak Offshore of some sort, some special edition probably. It might actually say in the interview, sometimes they talk about this kind of stuff. But let's see, Miguel Angel Jimenez.
It's probably sponsored. It would be a dream above all dreams if my son could become a golfer. It's just such a good sport to get into. Like, you don't destroy your body or your mind to play professionally in it. They have long careers and they make most of their money long after they even retire.
Can you say that again? You don't destroy your mind? I wonder why. Do you use it while you're playing golf?
What?
I mean, you said you don't destroy your mind since you don't have to work it too hard while you're playing it. Are you in a tunnel? You can't hear me?
No, I'm not quite understanding.
No, I'm just pissing on your leg, man.
Yeah.
You said you don't have to really destroy your mind while you're playing golf, and I said, is it because you don't have to use it much?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I think you have to be very mentally tough to play golf. Like, for example, being crazy and on the golf course is no use. Like, that's just not going to happen. It's not going to work. GV says, "Don't destroy your body. Tiger Woods has more surgeries than Tom Brady." I think that's just a Tiger Woods thing, to be honest.
To be fair, isn't most of Tiger Woods surgeries due to car accidents too? I mean,
yeah, Tiger Woods, is just so dedicated that he kept reinventing his swing. Like, I recall the stats of I can't remember which year, but his stats were unbelievable. Like, no one's ever come close to winning as many tournaments in a single year as he did. And he then fired his coach and decided that he needed to rebuild his swing from scratch. It's like, that's only golf does that to people. You could be at the top of the game more than anyone else has ever been in the world. You still think you have to rebuild your swing. Yeah. I'm with Jimmy here. Yeah, like, basically golf is a mental game. So yeah.
I mean, that's why
Ozzy,
you can have that gut and still play it as a sport. Absolutely, I agree.
Exactly.
Ozzy, I'm kind of curious. What do you think is more of a mental strain, playing golf professionally or playing poker professionally?
That's a good question. I have to say, I think it would have to be golf. It's very dynamic in terms of the types of risks and things you're making, that you have to stay emotionally strong. While I feel in poker, you can get away with just playing the numbers game for a while. As in, like, you can take the foot off the pedal, sit back, lose a little bit of opportunity, maybe, you know what I mean, like, but you don't get to make that sort of choice if you're playing golf. You don't.
I think you know, if you divide mental game into a few different aspects, probably they have different focuses. I would say, of course, poker requires a certain presence to oneself, like a certain self-presence, staying in the moment, getting ahead of your own emotions and excitement, etc. But I think there's maybe the intellectual side is a little, the mental calculus that keeps working is a little more intense than golf. Whereas
Yeah,
the
but
fact
for
that
someone
you
who's
can,
even okay at poker, none of that calculation stuff really phases you, right? Like, yeah, okay, if you're learning blackjack, you're learning poker, it's going to be a little bit more effort, but eventually, like, you can play on autopilot. I think a lot of these, you won't be playing your best poker, but you'll survive.
but I mean, to get, to get your swing right every time in golf, when you are under a kind of pressure against yourself as well, like, against your own mind, that must be quite mentally tough. Like, I mean, the analogy that I can actually wrap my mind around is the penalty shots in soccer, right? At the end of an important game, where you are physically exhausted, right? Which, of course, golf, you have to walk the course, right? You can't get carried around. That was one of Tiger's problems, and it is still in the late part of his career. So you are physically exhausted, you're mentally exhausted, yet you still have to focus and help your muscle memory play itself out. Just let it flow.
Maybe I should
And
have
that's very
compared this
hard.
to bowling.
So you did bring up an interesting parallel, and that is the penalty shot in soccer. The other parallel is being a pitcher in baseball. There are not many instances in sport where you are stationary and you have to make the action. In most forms of sport, you are reacting to something dynamic in motion, and a lot of that becomes very easy to be in the right mental state. You allow your body to do the right thing, like you're reacting. To catch a ball is almost instinct, right? There's almost no time, no room for you to second guess your own abilities. You just move to the position and catch the damn thing. But to stand over a ball and to initiate the whole sequence of actions, there's enough time in there for your mind to just say, not today, buddy. This one's not for you. The tree over there is your friend.
Golf is very tough, easy to get frustrated, because it's physical too, is a skill, wind direction, power, posture, what to use. And again, after you are at a certain level of mental and physical exhaustion already, things can get exponentially harder. And Evan reminds everyone to upvote. I will take that opportunity and ask people to subscribe if they haven't. Thank you for being here. We had the pleasure of, first and foremost, piling on Aussie tonight, who is taking it really well. The pontiff kind of opened the proceedings, and we have kind of followed on his path. So my apologies, my dear co-pilot. You know how much I love you, and we'll be back talking shit about 37 millimeter Pateks tomorrow. So no worries there. But guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Share the link on other platforms, spread the word, and help me get to 1,000 subscribers, so I can get this channel monetized. And if you want to contribute, if you want to help support the channel become self-sustaining, if you want to encourage me in creating content around these live streams, you can always consider a PayPal contribution at lordhellespontv@gmail.com, lordhellespontv@gmail.com. I also have a Cash App, $LHVVV, $LHVVV. The information is in the ticker and also included in the video description. Thank you for being here. Tennis can be another comparison to golf.
Tennis is
maybe
all mental.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's certainly not all physical, because I mean, you just look at a game, it's like guaranteed drama every time.
Drama.
Yeah, it's drama.
Pro golfers are all on meds that prevents their heart from racing over a clutch. But yeah, they're like snipers. Maybe that's the other parallel.
As a
That's why
pan,
they
like in Metal Gear Solid.
that's why they all look like zombies in the course. I miss plastic, man. Where's plastic?
I haven't
miss
seen him in
plastic.
a long time.
And I haven't even seen his unboxing. Apparently, he got a precious metal Daytona on Oyster Flakes, didn't he? Something
No
like that.
way.
That's what I heard.
Wow.
Like a white gold Daytona on Oyster Flakes or something like that. I think it's been a couple of weeks already, and I've missed it,
Cool
and I haven't
watch.
seen the guy since. Yeah, but what do you think, Ozzy? Did you change your mind on that? I know we didn't really follow up on that discussion because
Well,
Alex
I know my
mentioned it.
position is controversial. I didn't expect anyone to agree. So that's not.
But going back to that, so first of all, since your wife actually prefers the turquoise OP36,
Mhm.
you have been trying to trade what you just got, and all you got was cold shoulder and unwillingness to even entertain anything from most gray market dealers. Is that right?
Yeah. The main holdup is they don't want to source a turquoise OP. They don't like, the whole dealer network, and the watch groups and stuff like that. It's like they don't want to touch it. Basically, they don't want to source the watch. That's my direct responses, but also it's the only explanation. Like, I mean, if you trusted that you would be able to source watches well enough from that group without getting your fingers burned, then there really should be no issue.
And would you? I think Ozzy you made a video about this, trying to explain this situation
Yeah.
for your channel. Would you like to post that link to for people so they can watch it
Oh,
at
sure.
some point? But yeah, so you guys know already that because Ozzy was nice enough to unbox it on this channel, that from a dealer who has lost their dealership for Rolex, as like a parting gesture, they got allocated an Oyster Perpetual 36 in pink. And they want, Ozzy wants to go out and trade it with with turquoise or turquoise Oyster Perpetual 36, and the
Yeah.
dealers are either asking for outrageous amounts of money that don't really correspond to how these two watches are trending independently, or just unwilling to source a watch or even pay what they seem to be paying when they're exchanging these watches among themselves.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much a price issue because I'm asking for a trade. So I'm not even asking for like, oh, you gotta go lower on the X watch or something like that, because I'm trading in a watch and I expect to pay some money for their part of the deal. But on their own websites, they advertise those watches like 17,000 for the pink, 19,000 for the for the turquoise. There's a $2,000 difference. Am I gonna get a swap done for $2,000? No. I got to pay them for their work, shipping, all these other things too, right? They won't do it. They won't even entertain anything. The only place that did so David SW doesn't want to do a trade. The only place that will do it was Watchbox, but so the difference is about $2,000. They wanted $10,000 to do the trade, so they wanted $8,000 for their part in facilitating the trade, which is unbelievable. I don't know, you know, the watch that I'm after is 19. The watch I'm giving is 17, and they want $10,000. I don't know why he thought that was even remotely acceptable. He gave me the spiel about he's been working in the industry for a long time and he doesn't bullshit, as in he doesn't highball or something like that. He's trying to justify his price. I just said, is this your best price? Like, it's like, it seems he just gave me the spiel about how it's no, but GB Vol, I'll give it to them wholesale. That's perfectly fine. That's actually perfectly fine. So wholesale price of the pink OP is about 15.5. I fully realize if they can get it for 15.5, I'm not going to get 15.5. So make it 15, right? And then the turquoise, they can source that at about 17, but fine, whatever. Source it at 19. Tell me it's 19. Make me pay full retail on the trade. Fine. So that should be $4,000 for the swap. Like, they don't want to do it. They will not even quote. And that's their business, right? Their business is buying and selling. I'm giving them both a buy and a sell, so there's no carrying costs, right? There's less risk. They've got the buy and the sell, and they don't want to do it. And I'm not even telling them they got to carry more inventory, as in I'm leaving them with a watch of high value. I'm leaving them with a watch of lower value, and I'm giving them cash in their hands. They do. I contacted all the names. I won't disparage anyone. They all had the same reactions effectively. I even asked Watchaholic for the grays that he's dealt with. I've contacted everyone that I know, and none will do anything. Certainly nobody is offering cash. This is like, that's not even close. I think Bob's watches were willing to just say, send it in and we'll give you trade-in value, and then when the turquoise pops up on their website, I can use the trade-in credits. But I want to trade. Like, I don't want to. As soon as I sell the watch, I'm speculating on price. Basically,
Right.
I'm speculating that the turquoise will continue going down. Not.
I mean, you don't have to give me exact numbers, but the trade-in value they were willing to give you on that particular deal in Bob's watches, was it at least realistic? Was it at least echoing with this wholesale prices you see in dealer networks?
Actually, on that one, I didn't ask. No, I did ask. I think they were telling me somewhere around 17, if I recall correctly. I'm not interested. I want to trade. I want to swap. I'm not trying to make money out of out of the watch.
And
I just
Shamba
want.
says the turquoise is all hype, but the pink is really only a unisex watch. Hey, I said it. I said it. Wear your pink Oxford shirt with your pink OP36.
Yeah. Well, the watch is for my wife, and she's got a good eye, and she like I trust her. Like if she says she wants a certain color, that's the one that she actually wants. It's not about hype to her.
Have you tried the Wizard? GB Vol asks.
I don't know if the Wizard would help. Should I? I mean, he's in Canada, and it would just make shipping 2 watches around even more complex, I imagine.
Yeah. I'm just giving voice to people in the chat. Honestly, I wouldn't. Yeah, at this point, I think you just need to sit tight and wait for a moment where liquidity comes back to
Yeah.
the market, really, which is something you said.
Yeah. So yeah, my video is really, we all know prices are moving, but the real issue is liquidity and how much trust is actually happening between dealers. So basically, the corollary is like 2008, where all the banks were under normal functioning, trading and dealing with each other. But then once there's a little bit of stress, they're all fearful of, like, if they get in bed on a deal with something and then they go bust, away you go. And there are dealers going bust out there. Thanks. I won't mention, actually. There's a post I put up about a 7-figure outstanding amount from a watch dealer that went broke, and so the 7-figure outstanding is with other dealers. Like, they've taken in watches and then not paid for them and things like that.
All right. Jesus. Okay. So Shamba says, get her the olive dial DJ31 instead. She'll love it.
Well, if there was a trade, I would get money out of it. There's no way it's happening.
But yeah, I think her top 2 were. I mean, I think the actual watch she wants is that palm dial
motif.
Datejust. So I mean, yeah. Anyway, I mean, the trade thing, it never attracted me anyways. I know it can be really convenient when they're willing to give you cash, or when you're willing to lose just a little bit because they have a watch that you really want, and you don't want to go through the trouble. You don't want to pay commissions if you list it on Chrono and wait for months, whatever it can mention.
Oh, as in, like, accepting trade credit and just hanging on? Like, there's no way I'd do that. Like, they know I'm sort of like waiting in the background. As soon as they put up an OP36 turquoise, that they know they've got a buyer who's got credit on loan, so they can just price it up. I don't want to be in that position, and I don't want to be in a position to speculate. I'm not interested in speculating. I just want the watch that my wife wants.
Right. Has she seen the olive dial DJ36, Datejust 36? Show her other watches, Aussie.
Yeah, she just really loves the whole palm thing. Like, these are supposed to be hung, but they're all pictures of palm trees and things like that. And if where I normally stream, there's a big palm in the background. So she just that's her thing. Like, there's no other option.
Steve Schmidt says, "Fight the gray market," and with that avatar, it looks like I approve of this message. Is the campaign message?
Look, if the gray market was meant to do anything, it was meant to facilitate this. Please, please.
The thing is also, by the way, from what I understand, I mean, from how you relate her taste to me, it feels like she doesn't need to see all these other watches. She has a pretty set taste. She wants, one or two watches that she likes, and she doesn't want to go out and explore and go through watches, flip or something. Like, she
Yeah.
just knows what she wants, and that will make her happier, and happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. She's got a really good eye. She's a designer by career, and she's got a really good eye. I trust her a lot. But you also have to remember, as a woman, there aren't actually that many options available to you, full stop. So if you've picked the best dial that you like out of a DJ, and then you've picked the best dial out of an OP, the only other watch is maybe the Yachtmaster 37, which she's got. So, so
Wow. I mean,
she does want a Daytona, but that's not happening.
I do like, I've been a fan for a long time for women wearing a lot of the Rolex professional sports watches. I actually like that. I think that's a nice style. And hey, if I can wear Rolex sports watches with these wrists, many
Yeah.
women in our time in the United States, I think, can too.
It can work. Actually, so coming clean, the Batman's fitted for her. I hope to get it one day. It has to be a special occasion for her to do the swap, and I need to replace it with something that she wants to.
The guys, if you're interested, I might show you my favorite equestrian who wears Rolex sports watches on Instagram, and that could be a nice way of closing the show. And maybe we can do that, since I'm doing this for the money. It could be a nice way to encourage some Cash App or PayPal contributions. So for a small contribution, we'll close off with some beautiful woman on Instagram wearing Rolex sports watches. I don't expect anything to happen. Otherwise, we can also treat this as a contribution to Aussie's kitchen remodeling fund. um, get her the Daytona steel bezel. Boy, I
It's a
mean,
really good
those
idea,
are
actually.
the white dial, two-tone. That's a sexy watch, and you can wear
Oh,
it
I
sometimes
think
too.
he may have been even just referring to like the 116520.
Okay, I think I'm gonna just close. It's past midnight here. We can. I like the way you phrase that, Shamba. Let's do women and watches next, and I'm willing to do both. Thanks for that suggestion, Shamba. I think, look, for me, honestly, even in that fantasy world of Bond, it was already a thing, right? Remember Goldfinger's pilot, Pussy Galore, who was wearing that 6542, and that's early enough as an example. But I think that to me kind of seals the idea that, hey, that was just cool, and it's something that I also kind of highlighted on my Instagram, since we are not getting any contributions. I'll show you my Instagram instead of giving you the leads. And Honor Blackman has this very wonderful picture where she is in a man's shirt with cufflinks and wearing a Rolex watch, and I think that's a great quote unquote boyfriend look that has transcended that particular moment or that um, idea, that staging. Where is it? Ah, so there we are. Honor Blackman, Pussy Galore, nice shirt, clearly a man's shirt, not buttoned up, beautiful cufflinks, and that 6542 GMT Master with the bakelite bezel. I think it's a great look. And that was 1964. I think year 2022, we can be a little more open-minded. Jimmy, take care, man. And yeah, Shamba says you can wear it too.
I do have the tools.
Yes, plenty of eye candy for the next show. Jimmy, take care, man. Nice to see you. Ciao. Steve, good night. Thanks for joining us. Yes, it would be copying your shtick. I apologize, Blondie. I didn't mean to impinge your territory. Although, of course, it's a subjective opinion to call you a beautiful woman, but that would be impinging on your shtick. So I will make sure not to do that next time. I will leave it to women to make money of showing their Instagram. And with that,
Isn't that all
guys,
Instagram is for?
as it should be for. Why are we trying to hide publicly available content from people's eyes? Or is it just only certain people are allowed to make money off of that? Just a suggestion. Guys, it's been wonderful to be with you today. We had a surprise guest. We had an unboxing. And in fact, we see time to time that people are watching this show. They can't help. They can't help themselves. They can't keep away. Again, I'm sorry to impinge on your territory, Blondie. That is your shtick. That it's so cringe that it could be mildly entertaining. But once again, you fail. But you're always welcome on this platform, whether you want to remain in the chat or maybe even on the panel. Please, I would love to have you on the panel so I can make money. With that being said, guys, consider a PayPal contribution at lordhellespontv@gmail.com. That's lordhellespontv@gmail.com. I also have a Cash App, which is $LHVVV, $LHVVV. I'll be with you next time around the same time. And until then, I bid you adieu. Take care, guys.
Take care.